Hey, it is March the 26th, which is a Tuesday. The year is 2019.
This all checks out.
Spring has begun.
Okay, that I don't know about.
It's sprung. Yeah, spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung.
Jason's down an eye.
Yeah,
I
lost one.
I can barely breathe through my nose.
Oh no!
It's a good time.
I feel like
If
this
anybody
in
finds
here.
an eye,
Okay, I've got this dreamy haze, like none of this is real, so maybe you'll be all right.
did you dream that I had an eye patch or something? And
No,
like
I don't know.
It's got a
Did you
cool
take-
snake on it.
it's a.
Yeah.
Yeah, where do you
It
get
What
was-
this?
kind of snake is
I got
that?
it from E3.
Oh, wow.
Last year, yeah.
Okay.
It's like that came in handy.
That's branded.
Yeah,
I remember when we got
Subtly.
those.
It's a. Yeah, you got one too.
Yeah.
It's a Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Okay.
The Gojo
That came in handy.
Nargoro Majima.
Is this the most a video game swag thing has come in handy?
Yep.
Wait, so are you
Absolutely.
going to be jumped in at some point?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It depends on what style I'm using.
Companies would give out like first aid kits sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, here's some Band-Aids.
Oh yeah, that
And
could come in handy.
I think I have
or like
a,
ration packs and shit like
Granola
that.
bars.
I have a little plastic first aid kit branded with some 3DO game in my closet.
Nice.
that we use.
I have a 3DO like Walkman, like a little portable tape deck.
Oh, rad.
Okay.
Someone,
you guys
just,
are saying-
put 3DO on it.
Okay.
I was like,
Better
yeah.
products
Yep.
than the actual 3DO.
I've got a waterproof radio that Capcom gave out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now this eye patch.
Yep, and now the eye patch.
How's it
But
treating you?
It's more of a courtesy eye patch because it's a bloody mess inside of here.
Okay.
Nobody wants to see that really, so I'm wearing the eye patch to.
So just have like let's call it bloodshot eyes.
Yeah,
But
but
all the way.
like murder scene inside of my eye.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Is there room behind the patch to keep your eye open?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can kind of open it, but it gets like super like itchy. Then,
Oh.
you know, it's like if I tried to touch your
Yeah, it's
eyelash
like this
right now,
abrasive.
that would tickle a
So you
whole
just
lot.
have
wouldn't
to keep your eye
I
closed
just
all the
try and
day?
keep it
That
closed.
seems like
it? You get used to it.
surprisingly difficult.
The alternate is getting that weird twitchy feeling, and you don't want that. So I don't think I'm taking to this eye patch thing. I don't like it.
How long are you supposed to wear it?
Until
Until your eye looks like an eye again?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
After this podcast, I'm taking it off. I don't care what you guys think.
Fair enough.
All right.
What about some like cool giant sunglasses?
I thought about those too,
Yeah.
but I could only find the ones that have the blades in them. You know, the
You-
wiper.
Those
things.
aren't good.
No.
You don't want
Not actual.
Oh,
like the
okay.
'80s cool blades, the visor thing.
Okay, cool
Yeah.
blades.
Cool
Yeah.
blades.
Not
Yeah.
weapon blades.
But the surgery went well. I was under for most of it.
Not all of it.
Not all of it.
You wake up at the end and go, ah!
So I found out like right before we went in there that they weren't going to put me under, and I'm like, oh hell no, no, this was not communicated well to me.
I withdraw consent.
Yeah, and the guy's like, I'm gonna give you extra. Don't worry about it. You know, you're gonna knock out. I'm like, all right, fine, and I did. I fucking passed out, but I woke up probably about 40 minutes into it. I couldn't feel anything, which was great. I could feel like a little bit of pressure and stuff, but I could see exactly what they were doing to my eyes. And,
Nice.
that was
Wonderful.
weird. I'm like, should I be feeling this pressure? And they're like, oh god,
Oh, God, he's talking.
oh god, he's talking.
Beat him over the head.
Yep.
Knock him back out.
I'm like, I'm really hot. Can we take the heat off or something? I was a little loopy, but
Yeah.
it was a good time. No, and then afterwards they just kind of put me in my own clothes and sent me out the door.
Wow.
Yeah, that was it.
Outpatient procedure.
Yeah, that was it. It was quick and easy.
And now you look sinister as hell.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool snake eye patch.
That's pretty good.
The one that they gave me though, the medical one though, looks like a goddamn pasta strain.
Yeah, what? They look like a colander or something.
Yeah.
What was that about?
I don't know. That's
Is that to
what
let your
they
eye
give
breathe?
You
got a cyber
sure.
eye.
It looked kind of cool.
That
but
thing. I'm surprised you're not wearing that thing.
it
That
was,
thing looks terrifying.
yeah. That looks sinister. This one not so much.
Robot eyes.
Yeah. It works like a little bit. Like all my vision is like still blurry in there, but
That makes sense.
yep.
All right. Well, speedy recovery.
Thank you.
Wish you the speedy use of both eyes.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah, that'd be
Sure,
nice.
that will be nice.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Who's playing what?
What?
Sekiro.
Games. We talk about games here.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I don't know what podcast you thought you were showing up.
Like I said, I have this feeling like I'm still maybe asleep and that none of
Yeah.
this is happening. Like that kind of woozy dreamy feel that I don't know why I've got it.
I don't remember anything
Oh God,
about
he's
today
awake. Put him under.
Yeah.
until you stepped into this room, so that might make
Okay.
some sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I played Sekiro, but honestly, I haven't progressed any over the course of several hours, so it
Time-
might be a dream.
Time does flow strangely while you're playing that game, I have found.
Not like water. Yeah, more like sludge. If there's any movement at all.
I think that game's good.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that game's good.
Oh,
For
yeah.
what
That
that
game's
game
really
is,
hard.
that game is great.
It's definitely the most fun I've had with a game that I've repeatedly yelled "fuck this" at and to.
I'm jealous as hell because I have not found any fun whatsoever in playing this
I find
game.
it comes
like
in fits and starts, but it is there.
I'll have like a fist pump moment every now and again. It's like, yeah, I fucking beat that guy. But that's after like 3 or 4 hours of like just dead weight, like not making any progress whatsoever, beating my head against the ground.
Yeah.
Just death after death.
It has been frustrating and stubborn in a way that I feel like, I mean, there are other games are kind of like that, but in a different way. It's kind of hard to characterize why it's different.
Yeah. It's
But it's hateful in a way that there are other games have not been.
in the other Dark Souls games, which I'm a big fan of, and I'm not bad at those games by any means, and I'm not playing this game like a Dark Souls game.
Yeah, you kind of can't.
I know exactly, but the reward, I don't know, fulfillment. There's a little bit more in Dark Souls. Like there's a sense of wonderment around every corner in a way. Like you can find like cool items like hidden around, I don't know, in a little cave or something like that. Remember getting the firebrand or something like that.
Sure.
Finding that cave and like making the game a little bit easier.
This game is remarkably straightforward by From Software standards.
I feel like
to a point.
I mean, it's got tool tips. Like it's got ability tips that just pop up and say, "Here's
you
exactly
mean,
how
like,
this works."
Okay, in that regard, I thought you meant in its linearity.
No. I mean, like just explaining how it does things.
Sure.
Like I
but
almost
also
have to,
not enough. Sometimes.
like maybe the single most useful thing in the entire game that I have found so far is holding down the attack button to thrust.
The thrust, yeah.
Which they don't tell you anywhere unless it happens to pop up on a loading screen.
Yeah.
So it doesn't explain everything, but like I almost have to wonder if Activision had something to do with just like, all the items say exactly what they do. Like
unless you go ahead and waste your dragon's tear by consuming it because you just assume that that's what you do because there's no tooltip on it.
I haven't got one of those yet.
I think that the game is being done a disservice by people continually trying to refer to it in like Dark Souls-ish.
There's enough similarities.
There's enough similarities to it, but if like the combat is its own thing.
Totally.
Totally. I think the reward in that game comes from that combat.
Yeah.
And comes from like overcoming these, similarly abilitied enemies over and over again. I mean, I feel like I was having like a fantastic time right out of the gate with it.
And you
then
say that, but
like,
I mean,
you get to a point that's like
that's an apt description of a Souls game as well.
But like I guess like the other thing is like the Souls games are more about items and more about like that type of character building and stats and stuff like that also.
Right.
Yeah, like
what I'm mostly talking about is like the difficulty and like, the somewhat linearity, at least in the beginning.
Sure.
And then, losing progress, and having to go through that area again.
The death mechanic
and again,
is harsh.
and again, just like an old school, like arcade game. That's where the similarities lie. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
you can't cheese this game the way you can cheese a Souls game, and you can't grind to be stronger like you can in a Souls
exactly.
game.
That and so I think like that's the really interesting thing about it is that the difficulty comes from you getting good at the combat.
Yes. Like I was about to say, I will never use the phrase "get good" in earnest, but like that's what you have to do in this game.
Yeah,
to move on.
not to say, and I'm sure obviously like the Dark Souls games have an element of that, right? Like you have to fucking approach it on its terms to a certain extent.
But again, you could spend 10 hours getting more health before you go back to that boss, or something like that.
I'm really impressed by the kind of the dynamic difficulty that the game kind of builds around it, where if you're just kind of in there doing well, you're building up skill points like that, right? If you're just like going through, I hit a pretty hot streak. Kind of right after the first boss, like the main first boss.
Is that the horse guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
and where I was like going back through and fighting mini bosses that I had kind of passed over, and I was beating them on my first encounter.
Are there mini bosses you can skip?
Oh yeah, actually there's like a dude right at the ogre who's like chained up.
Yeah,
and there's a guy right after him.
Oh, with
in
the
like, courtyard.
There's like a frying pan guy above him.
Yeah,
yeah. So. Oh, did you just go around?
I just like said, "Fuck this!" I'm so scared right now.
You totally could actually. You totally could stealth your way around that guy and just not even fight him.
Yeah,
interesting.
But like I was, I all of a sudden found myself at like 4 skill points, and suddenly I had unlocked an ability to make the game more rewarding to my playstyle because I was doing well. Like I like that it rewards you for doing well by giving you more access to money, which is kind of useful, but then really those skill points that build out to the 3 different skill trees.
I guess you know what I should amend something I just said, which is that you can grind skill points out. It's just that there's not much on that skill tree. At least I haven't gotten all the books, so I haven't seen every tree.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much on that tree that will just straight up make the game easier, though. It's like more options, more techniques, but it's not like here's 3 times the health.
There's one that you get the health back from death blows.
That's the one that I really want.
That's the one that
seems super useful.
It's not a ton of health, but it's enough to make a difference. I can tell,
especially because it doesn't take that long before you can deal with regular enemies without getting hit. So
God, the first time like I went through an encampment, it was the one right before that boss. It was my first try. I went through. I killed every dude in there without like getting hit.
The one where the mini boss guy is that you were just talking
about? No, it's like right
actual boss.
It's right before the actual boss.
Okay.
It's kind of like a castle, a multi-level little castle area, and that moment was really it wasn't anything flashy or grandiose. Like I didn't get a big reward for killing all those guys or anything, but it was just that moment where and Patrick Klepek wrote an article kind of talking about the game and how it kind of tests you along the way with like different mini bosses that kind of test you on different things. But going through that area felt like I had passed my first test on my first try, and that kind of reward spoke to me in a way that I never got from Souls games.
I had the same experience with the mini boss you just mentioned, skipping.
Yeah,
I did the same thing. I spent like 15 minutes meticulously stealth killing because there's like 8 guys around him, and if shit pops off and they're
like 2 of them have guns,
if any of them are still alive when you try to fight that guy, like forget it. They're all just gonna rush you. So I spent like 15 minutes picking each guy off stealthily, fought that guy and beat him on my first try, and it was like holy shit, I get this game now. But if I had died on him and had to go do that whole stealth run again just to fight him again, I would have just turned the game off. So it's very hot and cold for me.
I agree.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've just had more cold moments, I guess, with it. That's unfortunate because this seems like my kind of game, and from what I had seen and heard, prior to release, like I was super into it.
Yeah. It's a weird mix. I mean, I guess it's the first time we've talked about it since it came out, but it's like there's a lot of traditional stealth mechanics in there.
Right.
Sure.
And the fighting is
platforming.
Yeah.
Sure. Like you really you really start to get
you can have a jump button. Like you're mobile in a way that their games are never like.
That first area, I don't want to talk about necessarily what happens, but after that mini boss where you're kind of using the grapple a lot for the first time, and it's the first place where you have to kind of jump grapple, like it tells you, sometimes you can't reach a thing and you have to jump for it, but there's areas before where you can use that, and you're just like going through and platforming and not doing any fighting for, 15 minutes, kind of dodging things. I thought that was really cool. I like how mobile you can feel in this game. I like how generous it is with the grappling hook. I think that's really important. Like, you can kind of just, if you initially miss it and you mash, you'll more often than not grapple to something. I like that it doesn't punish you there. I can see this game being
a little
really
bit longer, man.
Do
you get an upgrade later, maybe?
I haven't, but
okay.
I would.
I don't know if there was or not.
I feel like when the grapple points go off screen, they're a little hard to track.
Yeah.
Like the indicator around the edge of the screen is not.
It does tend to flip around.
It's kind of hard to track where the grapple point is if it gets out of view.
I wish it was easier to see. Like the white and the green, I guess they're just like a little too similar for me.
Yeah. Did you have any issues with that?
I'm looking for the circle to fill up because as you get closer to it, the circle fills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
That'll probably just come better in time. But
yeah.
I like how they start incorporating it into boss fights, the grapple. Like there's multiple bosses where they'll do a big move and you can kind of grapple to them, and then if you have the skill, you can do an air attack when you grapple.
Yeah, that's just cool.
I've got that skill.
I haven't
been able to use it on anything yet. But
I found some enemies way harder to counter than others for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like that spear dude, like we got to him in the quick
he
look.
was the first, the brick wall.
I left that. I finally. You have not?
I have not.
Okay, that makes me feel better because I finally like. I went home after that quick look and just like beat my head against that guy and could not beat him. And I was like, fucking, I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah.
Finally, like somebody said, just leave and go do something else, and I did, and I was like, okay, now I'm making progress.
Oh
again.
man, I could not.
There was certainly an amount of like surrendering your pride, and leaving there, but
you get attack up after you beat the first boss. You get more attack damage, and that helps a lot.
That was super gratifying too, because when I left that guy, I went back to the main path, and you fight the ogre, and then you fight the guy after that, and like you're immediately getting like, oh, you just got a skill that makes healing heal more at a time.
Potent, yeah.
You also just got another use of your Estus flask or the healing gourd or whatever. Like they.
And then did you get the thrust skill?
So
like
I had that.
Thrust
You
skill?
mean the counter?
Yes.
The thrust counter. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I was going to say is I never dialed in the timing on that spear guy. Countering.
It took me a while. Like I finally had to watch a video, and the guy was like, you hold up, like you hold towards, and you hit the counter.
Like
button.
the regular, the
I
block?
think you can
not
hold it
the
any
block,
direction.
like the dodge. I'm
So
sorry.
won't that make you just
Circle.
dodge at him?
It activates the counter.
It works.
Yeah,
That's
like a
what you have to
window.
do.
I saw
But you have
on-
to hold forward too, and that's what I was absolutely not doing it. Like I was holding to the side and holding back and just holding neutral, but I never tried forward because it didn't seem intuitive. But that's apparently how you
I read on Reddit that I don't know if it's just the thrust attacks or all of them, but people said there are sound cues associated with counter timing.
Oh, that would make
Like
sense.
they were specifically
cues,
talking about that guy because so many people were complaining about him. That there's like it's like a 2 violin string kind of stinger as he's attacking.
Little
You're supposed to counter like right on the end of that sound, and that apparently can help. But fuck that guy.
Yeah. Once I got like it was one shot. Like I just had to go through.
Oh, so
that
you
one
have
time.
beaten him?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I heard it just gets harder past that fuck door.
It's not fun.
Yeah. I also heard, and I haven't found it, that the whatever tool you use to split wood defenses is somewhere else.
It's
like not in that area?
No, it's in
Or
that
is it
area.
okay.
It's shortly
Somebody was
before
telling
that
me
guy.
you went off somewhere else to find it.
Shortly before that guy, there's a
little temple.
Because there's like wooden shield guys around there that you can't fight without that tool.
that tool is really handy.
Badass.
It's not even against like just the sword guys or the shield guys, I should say. It'll do a lot of posture damage to people.
Yeah, I just unlocked the third skill tree, which starts with a combat art that's just a big like kind of Bushido overhead or kendo overhead strike that does a bunch of posture damage, and I like that they're kind of now feels like different weapons.
Now you kind of like brute force like a little bit.
Yeah, like if you want to go down that
spamming,
path,
but
if you want to be like the kind of one big
like
hit path versus like the windmill flurry and stuff like that, you can kind of there's only one weapon as opposed. Again, I'm going back to comparing it to a Souls game, but for people who haven't played it yet, kind of I immediately I know a lot of people's concerns were like, oh, there's only one weapon and it's only going to encourage one kind of play style.
There's no armor to equip. There's no stats really other than health and attack power.
But these branching paths in the combat arts, and which now that I have 5 prosthetics, and so now it's a really like I'm kind of always changing which 3 I'm carrying with me.
Wait, can you? I don't have more than 3. Do you have to go back to the temple to swap?
No,
out
you can swap them on the fly, but I'm not often like thinking about it mid battle or anything. It's like, okay, I see like over there's a really big guy. I'm gonna see if like the firecrackers work on him or whatever.
Yeah, like I mean, another aspect of it being kind of straightforward is like that giant early on, the guy that's tied up. Like, I may be mistaken, but I feel like when you eavesdrop on the guys right before him, they straight up say in their conversation, like, "Oh, he hates fire."
They're talking about him.
Like it's very obvious, and if you may not have gotten the flamethrower thing by then, but I did.
Yeah.
So like they basically spell out like, "Hey, set this guy on fire, and he'll be a lot easier." And I did, and he was.
Yeah, and I found a giant later on too that worked spectacularly well.
Yeah. So on the one hand, that's cool, but on the other hand, they are spelling some stuff out for you. I feel like that.
Thankfully,
they might not have in the past. I don't mind it necessarily.
Yeah, I kind of feel like with how rapidly you can just get ripped up in a fight.
Yes.
Like that. That's interesting to me. Having the difficulty there.
Yeah, the time to death is especially early on is
right.
really brutal.
Well, that's the thing that kind of reminds me of like Bushido Blade, and there's that idea of that one big hit that just like straight murders somebody.
The first thing I thought with like my first hour or two with the game, I was like, dude, this game's like Bushido Blade.
Yeah,
it's like Tenchu and Bushido Blade and a little bit of Souls.
Yeah, and I think that's what I like about it. Is it kind of feels more like this kind of post Souls thing of like, okay, we're kind of using the trappings of that, but we've as much as other games have tried to do it and maybe stuck a little too close to the Souls stuff, I feel like this one breaks free in way more meaningful ways than a lot of that other stuff did. And
it's almost like they're like, okay, you've got the general idea and vibe of our stuff. Now we're going to emphasize precision and punishment in a way we haven't before.
It's like they're treating the Souls stuff as like this blueprint for like, here's the kind of post, kind of modern day action platformer blueprint.
Totally.
But we've mapped this totally different thing onto it.
I felt a little vindicated because at first I thought I liked Tenchu and Bushido Blade, but the more I played of it, it started reminding me of like Ninja Gaiden for the Xbox, the Team Ninja one. And I started seeing some other people saying they felt the same way because it is almost like I remember when that game came out, like even in the GameSpot office, like the word around the office was like, this thing is like
really
kind of a fighting game.
Yeah, like weirdly technical for when you think about what that type of game had been up to that point. You were like, man, it's like command grab.
This has a bunch of command inputs and weird counters and dodges.
Right.
And like it's almost like every time you face off against somebody, you're in a fighting game match.
Yeah,
not fully.
But
like
it's like that's the thing. Is like the AI in those games felt like dumb.
Yeah,
and you could mash your way through a lot of them.
Sure. It's just that depth was there if you wanted to engage with it. Like here, you have to engage with it.
I think that's what it does. That's better than those games. Is I feel like it puts more of the enemies on more equal footing with you than that game ever did.
Yeah.
Though once you kind of spend time with it, you really are just like, okay, come at me, ching, dead, move on. Like like that's not tough.
Like I found a lot of the fodder enemies, you can just like thrust at them and they won't block the first hit, and you can go straight into a death blow from there.
They can't block the thrust. The thrust is unblockable.
Okay,
it just takes a little while to wind up.
Sworn, maybe
it says right in the tool.
Oh, really? Okay.
I wonder if large shields maybe do something against that.
Maybe, yeah.
Have you guys fought any of the rats yet? The assassins?
No.
Oh, those little fuckers.
Oh no.
Oh my god, they're tiny. Fun. They got big old straw hats that are like shields, and they just kind of run at you with their hat down. Yeah, they flip around. They do
wait a minute, are they really short little guys?
They're like real round guys. Is there
one of those in the tutorial area under the bridge?
Under the bridge?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you can sneak up on that guy. Probably. They start traveling in packs.
There's another aspect of having just sort of like a global rule set that everything abides by is the fact that stealth kills work on everything, or not maybe not kills, but like
the spear dude in front of that fog gate, you can totally get one free
even
stab on him.
Even named mini boss enemies with like a health bar in the top of the screen, you can roll up and take half their health off with a nice stealth kill, or like that ogre that roams that first big area.
Yeah,
like I couldn't beat him normally, and then I just happened to get behind him, and he just died in one hit,
just fry his
without seeing me coming. Like I love a game where you can just sort of bend the rules like that.
Yeah,
or take advantage of them.
Right, or they apply the rules.
You don't feel like they're
globally.
cheating.
Yeah, it's not like, oh well, this guy. I mean, you could say like, hey, anyone that can withstand one death blow and it just takes half his health, like that's a dumbass video gamey thing. But
they've got
it works.
Spirits. Within
okay. Like UMD copy that like is just like pinned to their back and blocks the sword hit.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
You guys mentioned the fighting game, and I really love those those one-on-one moments. I love being able to dodge and parry, but I find that when I'm having the least amount of fun is when I'm getting just outpowered by a bunch of enemies.
Yeah, getting ganged up on is not. It's not an ideal situation.
That stuff happens. A ton. Like
you got to run.
Yeah, they do give you the tools to get out of there.
You got to grapple somewhere.
That is one option, but I find a lot of options where they're just three enemies right there, and they're not moving. I can't peel one off. Like what do I do?
Yeah.
Like do I have to?
You just have to, in my experience, you just have to break line of sight and kind of let them go on patrol.
Right,
yeah.
But sometimes they won't. Like they're set. Like I'm up against a boss right now that there's 7 guys in there, and I can't peel them off. They're all standing there waiting for me, and it's like, what do I do?
Have you tried shards? Do they not go for the ceramic shards at all?
I've thrown those things and they do nothing. I don't understand what they do.
Like figuring out where they're going to hit is so hard.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there's a way
kind of spamming them.
That
I can't aim them.
If you lock onto an enemy, it'll throw it at them, which will like alert them, but they won't always move. You have to like throw it in front of them. I haven't gotten the aim down on those at all, but I've had it just like, I'm going to throw all 10 of these because I don't know what else I'm going to do with them. And eventually I could get a guy to move a little bit, and that would be enough to just kind of leash them off. But it's not ideal. It'd be nice if you could like hold the button to kind of aim it.
Yeah, I want to make a guy. I want to turn a guy around, make him walk the other direction if I can. I haven't looked if you can remap buttons.
I just want the three fuckers on the other side of the bridge to actually just like come over one at a time or something, because I can't. Oh man,
I think having the item use button on the same thumb as the move is kind of rough. Like having to move your thumb from move character up to use item, like in that split second of having to stop moving, like that can make all the difference. Which is kind of rough.
I wish that the English VO was worse.
Oh, did you try it? I haven't even tried it.
Yeah, I wanted to hear it as like a dubbed like kind of martial arts experience.
Is it all British accents? Because they always. I was wondering because their games are almost always fully British in English.
It's some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess like it's. I don't think the English VO is like especially good, but it's not like bad. And I don't necessarily want like full on, martial arts awful dub. But I feel like there's like a Wu-Tang Clan sample like range somewhere in there.
A little melodramatic.
I will, yeah. I alone am best. Like know that type of shit. Have
you seen my killer tattoo?
Yeah, exactly. Stuff a martial artist would say.
The game has such a grim vibe to it, though. Like it's so self-serious.
Oh
I kind of want the original dialogue.
I think playing in Japanese is probably they kind of guide you in that direction pretty well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I think that's what made me want to go like I want to hear this English VO that you're desperately trying to get me to not select.
It's funny when you start the game, they're like, "This comes with Japanese audio." That's fine, right? Right?
Yeah, right.
You could change it.
You could change it. I mean, this is the default.
Yeah.
And then Japanese is on the list twice. It's like Japanese default, and then at the bottom again is Japanese.
People hate subtitles. Yeah. I want to play it, and I also don't.
I'm having a great time.
It's really good, but it is a harsh master.
Each time I rage quit out, I'm like, no. Why am I wasting my time? I'm having no fun with this. But then I get away from it for a little bit, and I'm like, no, oh man, I should be doing this.
It's easy. I just have to parry. All I have to do is hit the parry button.
Yeah, what am I even doing?
I've got that, like that. Oh man.
So there's I looked it up just because I was curious if it was there, and now I'll curse you with this knowledge too, is that there's like a pretty good looking cheat engine table for that game.
Oh, really? I did get it on PC.
Yeah.
Which is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. So I guess like also that game is like frame locked or has a frame cap on it.
Sure.
So people have hacked that out, I guess, but I don't know.
Already though, with the frame cap,
60 and 1080, like I'm fine.
Better than what I'm working with on the PS3 or PS4 regular. It's not unplayable, but it really hitches in some spots.
Yeah, even the Pro is not super consistent.
I've not. Yeah, I feel like I had a couple of people. I saw a couple of people really complaining about base level PS4 version.
Yeah, PC definitely the way to play that game if you can.
Yeah, but I want to unlock that frame rate because now I'm that asshole.
You paid a lot for that monitor.
I paid a lot to be this asshole.
Yeah,
it's a privilege.
That's
to
right.
Be this asshole.
You're welcome. That's what I'm saying.
Part of me wants to ask where this game goes later on, but I really shouldn't, both for the sake of the audience and myself. Like I was surprised early on how grounded it is. There's some kind of peripheral supernatural elements, but it's Souls games right off the bat you're fighting lizard men,
giant
and skeletons,
dragon.
And in this game you're mostly just fighting human beings,
or really fucked up humans.
Right? Yeah. Occasionally there's a giant human being.
Yeah.
Occasionally there's a rooster.
Oh, with really grody butts too.
Fucking roosters.
Yeah, the roosters
man.
are real dicks.
Holy
oh
shit.
God, they're scary as hell. Jesus, you get into one where there's 6 in a pen and they just murder you. My God,
they can go a little nuts.
Why are they 6 feet tall?
And there are references.
Feed them well.
Yeah,
they're chocobos.
Yeah.
Obviously there are references to Buddha and Dragonrod and some kind of metaphysical concepts, but in terms of giant monsters and weird shit, there wasn't a lot right up until there was.
I fought a
And I don't
very
know if I
large animal that's very scary, but again, yeah, it's just like a big animal.
Right.
And it's nothing,
Well-
it's not too...
Wait, is it the same big animal I'm thinking about?
Is it right after the horse guy?
No. It's right after it's actually right after the mini boss that you said you skipped.
Oh.
Did you run past
Oh,
him?
yeah, that. I
It's
was
kind of in a
thinking
canyon?
That's an even bigger
Like
animal.
you jump between some
That's the
grapple
part I was
points
talking
and
about with the platforming, yeah.
I want to say what it is, but it was such a holy shit moment that I'm just going to leave it. But that was where I was just like, maybe there's something weird going on in this game
that
after all.
sequence is really cool.
I didn't know what to do there, though.
Me
I
neither.
died.
I
and
slammed
then
my head against it a lot.
Can you just get through it?
Yeah. Wait,
Okay.
how did you get
Well, I
Well,
didn't.
we'll
I didn't get through it. I just.
Oh.
I didn't know if I wasn't supposed to be there yet, or if I needed something to kill it.
Slow down is like a good general.
Yeah, it
tip.
seemed like
And
it was
watch
kind of
what's
almost a stealth
happening.
thing. I'm trying
Yeah.
to. Okay. And then I went the other way, and it was like, you're gonna fight ghosts if you go this way.
Oh yeah, I saw that. There was like a thing. It's like a note. It's like, hey, there's ghosts in here. Our swords didn't work.
Yeah, you
don't
can't
go there.
You can't hit these guys. Maybe don't go this way.
And of course, what did I do? Oh, there might be items over there.
Maybe I can stealth kill a ghost.
Yeah, I mean, there's one item right before you get there that basically says, "Hey, this will let you hit ghosts."
Oh,
But I only had
that.
one of them, and I didn't know if that was going to be it.
right.
I don't know. Do the paths fan out a lot as you
Oh
go?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's like one more mini boss after that main first boss, and then right there you kind of like I by accident started going one way, and I hit a little statue, and I was like, okay, I don't want a main line. I'm gonna go back, and went another way and hit another little statue. So it really I feel like there's like 4 different paths I can go
Okay,
down
cool.
at this point.
Cool, because it did feel a little more linear than I was looking for early on, but yeah, it seems like it's opening up.
Good.
Yeah, I guess we'll all continue to slam our heads against
Die.
that thing.
When I started playing that game, I was like, I'm gonna keep track of how many times I die. Just write down little notches on this piece of paper.
Yeah.
And then I lost my pen, and I was already at like 30.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep. What else is going on in the world of playing video games?
Gosh.
I feel like has something else come out.
Division has been
Yeah,
out.
still-
You know, like
yeah.
I hit level 17 and
What's cap on that? 30?
30.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm having trouble kind of keeping going on it. I think it just it doesn't do a good job with the story, and the action is fairly repetitive from mission to mission, and so trying to play a lot of it in like big chunks and be like, I'm just gonna grind it out, you know, like that's been a bit much. So I've been slowing way down on it.
I had a similar experience. It's a
Yeah.
lot there's not much to sink your teeth into by yourself.
For sure.
Like
and I've been trying to open up parties and get people to join and all this other stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you know, matchmaking even for the main missions, like haven't necessarily found players in some cases there, and that's been frustrating. Because I want to get in and use those systems and play with people and stuff like that.
Obviously, there are abilities you can kind of synergize with people, but I wonder if even playing with strangers you're not talking to would be enough.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It is?
It's
Okay.
yeah. In my experience, anyway, like having other people around and being able to you definitely feel like
It just adds enough variety.
Well, that and you can cover more angles, right?
Sure.
So the enemies that are constantly flanking you and fucking you over, like you feel like you can push back against it a little more easily.
That was the other reason I fell off that game. Is just like,
yeah, it's a feeling of like I don't necessarily want to play this alone, but also I'm not in a position just with how I live my life where I can schedule a play session with somebody and be like, hey, and most the people I would do that with probably aren't at my exact level and all this other stuff. So, they've built all these really good sound matchmaking systems into the game, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'm just going to use those, but then that's been hit and miss. And so that kind of, at that point, it starts to fall apart a little bit. And yeah, so I've gotten a lot better at covering all my flanks and hoping for the best and all that sort of stuff. But
the enemies are just so aggressive. Like,
Yeah,
that can only take you so far.
yeah. So yeah, I've slowed down on that. I do like the core action in that game, but yeah, it was just it was getting to be a bit much. That, and I feel like I've been putting Apex off like a long time. I was like, oh, I'm
right.
Like we were playing Anthem, so it's like, oh, I need to step away from Apex to play more of Anthem and do this, and then Division came in, and suddenly I was playing that instead of Apex. And I think finally I was just like, fuck this. play some fucking Apex.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Man, that battle pass though.
It's fine. Like, could it be better? Abso-fucking-lutely.
I mean, honestly, for me, I think the speed that it levels is the worst thing about it. It's not so much the rewards; it's that I don't think I've hit level 2 yet. Like, I haven't played a ton since I bought it, but like,
still,
I played enough that it feels like I should have gotten at least the first reward.
I agree.
The idea of that being a thing you're intended to get through in 90 days is a bit much.
It's crazy.
Even with the boosted thing, like I bought the one that comes with 25 levels, and on top of that, I play I don't know, a couple hours most days, and I have been since it came out, and I'm at like level 40.
Okay. Do you know how many points between levels it is when you start at the 25 or whatever?
I don't.
It's like 29,500.
Is that okay? That's what it is.
I feel like
that's what it is at level 1. So it must be consistent. But
I also unfortunately hit the max for my Pathfinder, my main in that game, of the like bonus experience you get, because each character you can earn bonus experience by playing and lasting through a match as them. And so now I'm incentivized to play other characters, which is fine. But if I'm like with my friends and we're like, okay, we want to win, and I want to pick my main, and now I'm just like earning less. I think that's kind of a bummer.
But doesn't that offset a little bit because you get a bigger battle pass bonus from playing with friends?
Yes.
So that kind of mitigates
it. Does.
what if you got both?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I feel like, I mean, we've said this before. Brad was saying this before, but it'd be nice if they had like character specific things, or generally specific, like
some quests,
objectives.
Yeah,
that would be a more cool incentive to try out other characters, I think, than like, oh, I just can't get any more bonus points from playing Pathfinder.
Can you see those character bonuses? Like, can you see how much, or can you see if you've maximized the bonus for?
You go in the battle pass menu,
and the upper right where it says like legend bonus.
Okay.
Have you guys played any Octane?
Yeah, here and there. I like the day or the first couple of days after Octane came out, I tried a bunch of Octane and then went back to Lifeline.
Yeah, I think he's cool. I think he fits an interesting role. He's hard as hell to shoot sometimes.
Yeah, he's neat.
I'll tell you that.
He's neat.
I'm not sure about the jump pads. I mean, obviously you can get around pretty fast with them, but they make you so conspicuous. Like it's,
but like you get a lot of them. I think it's generally like
it's like the zip line.
It feels like a pretty like underwhelming ult, but you get a lot of them. So
they've definitely helped me out of a jam on occasion where I was like pinned down, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait a couple seconds for this guy to come around and flank me, and then just jump. But honestly, I find it comes in use 1 out of every 5 games I play with him.
Well, so you end up, if you end up trying to flank somebody else, like if you're really tight with your team coordination, I bet you could really fuck a team up by like, okay, I'm going to jump behind them, and then you make your move at the exact same time. We'll pinch them and get them that way. Mm-hmm. But it usually ends up, hey, I jumped over them, and now I'm shooting at them while my other 2 teammates are trying to get up into the fight, and I'm dead by the time they get there,
or are looting somewhere.
Well, yeah. And it's that, I think that's one of those things that the ping system, the communication stuff they built in, is not good at, is like coordinating ahead of time.
Yeah,
like a countdown or like, okay, let's go right now. It's more about like, hey, I see this. Hey, I'm doing this right this second, as opposed to, hey, I'm about to jump over them and let's go. And I don't know how you flesh that. Like that system's already so good.
Use voice chat for that.
Like,
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the thing.
Strangers.
Oh yeah.
But like I'm never seeing people with microphones.
Oh really?
Were you on
rarely
PS4?
On PS4.
Oh, yeah.
I would say
I'm
almost every match on PC. I've got somebody on a mic.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of the PC matches I've played, it's not. I don't know that I've run into a ton of strangers chatting either.
It's so anecdotal. It's barely worth talking about. But I feel like my match quality has been pretty good since the Battle Pass came out. Like teams sticking together, supporting each other, like knowing what they're doing. Like it's been a pretty good experience, like teamwork wise.
I still get a bummer game where somebody just splits off every once in a while, but I don't think they're ever gonna fully fix that because it's in the game. People are gonna abuse it.
I think you need to make that main mode no splits until until 50 meters above, or something like hey, if you want to split at the very end to check out different houses, yes, but before then, no.
Yeah.
Or maybe let the jump master at least toggle that on or off. Like
Sure.
Make the jump master able to control if people can split off or not.
Like, I could see them having it in there for like, oh, this person is trolling us with the jump. They're like just jumping in the corner or whatever, which has never happened.
Right.
to
That's the
me.
thing is like, is that.
And it's like you could report that person anyway if they're going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, because they've added that reporting system now. I have run into an increase, I think, in hacking. It's so hard to tell unless they're on your team, which has happened once to me. But I've just had instances where somebody has a drop on me and I'm dead in like PUBG time as opposed to Apex time, because I feel like in Apex, most firefights like I can get away from and I'll be like fucked up unless I'm like really cornered or pinned or something. Like, you have so much health and shields and the time to kill is higher than other battle royales where I can like, oh, I'm gonna get down and behind this rock. Maybe I'll ultimately lose the fight anyway because they have advantage, but like I'm just instantly dropping more often than not, and like from places that I thought I was concealed. It just feels like it's, like you said, it's anecdotal on this front, but it feels like something's up.
Is that report player function new?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't remember seeing that before, and then the other day I died, and I was like, huh, I'm very tempted to hit the R key right now, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that they obviously could have done more with the battle pass to make it kind of stand out or give it more variety or something like that.
Better
But
skins.
Yeah.
Their
really
skin game
should've.
needs work.
Also just
Level
like
100 Havoc skin. Come on,
yeah.
it's nobody's favorite gun.
No.
If the Havoc's your favorite
that-
gun, you
Havoc really
are
kind
a
of
criminal.
came and went, didn't it?
Yeah, it's really underwhelming for their first big new thing.
I would like the shiny suit lifeline skin,
Sure.
and I don't have that.
Is that one of the legendary ones?
Yeah.
Like the actual different geometry, like different costumes?
Yeah.
One of two different actually looking costumes.
Yeah. Well, that's like the Overwatch formula,
It's not
right?
though. It's
Or it was at launch.
I don't even
I
think.
feel like
No,
Overwatch,
Overwatch
launch
still
had
had-
slightly more.
yeah.
They had like two additional tiers.
Overwatch is some of the best character artists in
Totally,
the game.
yeah.
Like their stuff, even when it was different colors, was like it looked different. This is just like if you kind of can notice it even when you really start to look at the designs of the skins, that there's so much white space on their actual costumes because so many of the skins are just here's a pattern over that white space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear the game is popular, so hopefully
Yeah, it's a popular
hopefully
free
they've
game.
got the
message.
They've got the leeway to beef the stuff up.
Someone went out there and filmed an adult film pornographic scene built around those characters
Okay.
and
All right.
the lingo. So,
They made it.
That's how you
so
know.
congratulations
Is there a
to Apex.
Mozambique joke in there?
Yes.
Wow.
yeah!
Okay. Congratulations to Apex Legends.
I only watched the trailer.
Cultural institution.
I mean, you got to put the Mozambique joke in the trailer. Like that's how you
The
prove you're
trailer,
authentic.
because the trailer can't show the fucking, it instead is all jokes. Yeah.
All right, then.
I'll say this: whoever wrote the jokes has played that game.
Yeah, sure.
So good on him, I guess.
I should hope so. I played a little bit of Generation Zero last night from Avalanche, the makers
Yeah.
of Just Cause.
Yeah.
Also soon to be releasing Rage 2. I guess they're making a lot of games
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah.
That thing is strange.
What is it?
It is, okay, so the pitch super got me because it's set in 80s Sweden.
Okay.
Sweden has been overrun by robots.
Okay.
You're like a teenager surviving in a robot overrun Sweden
All right.
in the 80s, basically.
Huh.
Like you went off on a vacation, you came
Yes,
back,
that is,
and
that
like
is the setup. It's like, hey, you were coming back on your boat from vacation and robots destroyed it, and you swam to shore. Figure it out. And it's got it feels really bare bones.
It's early
over.
access, right?
Ooh.
Or is it?
Well, it's out
or
on
is it out?
console.
I think it's.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
I
All
think
right.
it's early access
All
on
right.
PC. It's like $35. It's not full price.
Okay.
But like, the entire intro is just a couple paragraphs of text, and then you're just spawned on a beach.
Oh.
There are no human characters that I've seen whatsoever. Like every house that I've been in to loot has been basically the same exact layout of house. It's
Are
a
you
lot.
sure you didn't accidentally play Fallout 76?
Pretty sure.
Okay. All right.
It actually reminds me, like, just kind of what you're doing moment to moment. It sort of reminds me of like a Dead Island in the number of car trunks and backpacks you are scavenging.
Okay.
It's a lot of that. It's a
All
lot of finding left around stuff and using it. Alex has been playing it too, and I've been talking to him about it, and also read a couple articles. It's just like remarkably buggy. Like the quest log broke my first time into the game, like 5 minutes in, and I had to restart. Like I couldn't view any quests. He said he has been running into an invisible wall for the last hour.
Cool.
And just can't understand why you can't progress. I've had enemies like there's a lot of it's very stealth based, and I've had enemies like see me through walls and then kill me through walls and stuff like that. It's just and probably the weirdest thing playing it is the balance. Like the even the basic robots have just these machine guns that mow you down. And like my third or fourth combat encounter in the entire game was like 8 robots swarming me and fucking murdering me. And then
they took over all of Sweden. They're gonna be tough.
Yeah. And then you realize that as far as I can tell, you can just revive yourself on the spot indefinitely.
Oh.
Like every time they kill me, I just bring myself right back to life and then kill them. Like it's a weird thing. We're gonna try co-op tonight and do an actual proper co-op video because that seems like that's how they want you to play it.
Yeah.
But soundtrack is good.
All right.
Some good 80s John Carpenter sound and synth stuff.
All right.
I might be into
Also,
that.
when you make a character, all the archetypes are like jock, nerd, metalhead, hip hopper.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember this game now.
So-
yes, I remember hip hopper and just going like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. That part's pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of clothes spread around to put on, so having fun making my guy.
Woohoo.
I picked a nerd, but he doesn't look like a nerd anymore.
Oh, made him look cool.
Well, in the post-apocalypse, you can do whatever you want.
It's-
Or changes you.
It's like moving to a new city.
Yeah.
You can be like, "Oh, I was really cool
Actually,
and
cool.
Yeah,
I love sports
Yep.
yeah,
That's
hell
me.
yeah,
and not esports.
That's right. What is even esports? Sounds like some nerd shit to me.
It's a bummer that it's so rough because it's got a good like oppressive atmosphere to it, and the robot design is cool and the soundtrack is good. But it's just
Needs some work.
See, in the trailer, there was a bit of intrigue, in like what happened, and there's a lot of like environmental storytelling. It seemed.
Yeah,
like,
but
you're
like
going down
every-
into bunkers to find out.
Yeah, maybe I haven't
what was going on.
seen enough of that stuff yet because
Sure.
the game is so hard. But like every letter I've found has been super straightforward, basically just
really?
leading you to the next place and stuff like that.
Boy,
so
I
far,
hope
so.
robots don't come and kill me and my family.
Yep. Say, hope you're doing well. Mom and Dad are at the farm.
Oh no, there's blood at the bottom of this letter.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's kind of some stuff like that. But yeah, we'll dig into it co-op and see if it gets better that way. Y'all got anything else?
I'm trying out Space Junkies. That's a arena shooter, like in VR, like it's on PC and PS4 and
Like straight up deathmatch?
yeah, deathmatch stuff.
Huh.
But it's also got some like the skill-based challenges and stuff. I tried getting into a game last night, but it wasn't able to. But I'm not sure how much I'm gonna like it because I really don't dig the movement in it so much. You're in a completely 360 degree arena, so you move essentially by clicking the left stick on the controller and then moving your head in whatever direction you want to go. Use the right stick to do
Is it like
like
zero G?
incremental. Yep.
Okay.
And then also that'll do like your vertical and downward movement as well on the right stick. Left stick does like strafing. It's very awkward, and it's hard to like do precision shooting when you're using your head to like move around as well.
Is that
How is VR with an eye patch?
I take the eye patch off
Okay.
for it, so
Okay.
I can still see a little bit. So it's a little blurry.
Okay.
I can't imagine it would work very
Yeah.
well with an eye patch. So yeah.
what's that? I can never remember the name of that competitive zero G sports game for Oculus that everybody loves.
Oh, the one with the polite kid.
Yeah.
With the polite
Ender's
kid.
Guess.
What is that? That's the one.
Echo Arena.
Echo
There we
Arena.
go. Okay.
Yeah, is it anything like that? That kind of sounds
I'm
similar.
not familiar. I don't know.
Okay. All
The
right.
trailer made it look, kind of fun. We'll see. It's got some punchy spunk to it.
Okay. Maybe we'll dig into that
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Punchy spunk.
Yeah.
Punchy spunk.
That's right. Okay. Well, let's punch our way to a break. Anybody?
Hell
Unless
yeah.
you got any
Yeah.
more games?
I've been digging.
Oh.
Speaking about earlier about punching a wall in frustration.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you saw a little horse this weekend, didn't you?
I did see a little horse. The owner of that
Don't
horse
punch the horse.
said that the bigger horse in that stable kicked little mini horse who was named Poncho
Yo, what?
20 feet back.
Nice.
And the Poncho hasn't been the same
Aw.
since. But it's fine.
Little poncho.
They also had a goat and a sheep at that farm. And speaking about sheep, I've been playing a lot of Baba Is You.
Yeah, I dipped into that as well.
And oh man, like it's so frustrating. And like last week, Ben and I were beaming about like, oh, you can like cross everything and they use the same is for two different things. But then they start adding ands, and then you realize you can not only put and at the end of a sequence of words, but and at the beginning. So now flag and Baba can be you, or on top of like the wall is you. And then they start adding stuff. And I thought like, okay, I'm getting the hang of this. And then with the new world I've unlocked, they've added words now, or text now floats.
Right.
So now you can't touch it.
Yeah, that's about where I got to, was when
float.
it starts using float. And it's like, okay, I solved the first couple of those, and then got to a point where I'm like, how do I make the rock float or not float? Because I went asked to do one or the other to get, geez. Yeah, and yeah,
I thought Sekiro was hard.
Oh, boy.
There's,
If you want two games that make you feel both bad at games and very stupid, pick up Sekiro and Baba Is You.
Package deal. But now I've gotten to a point where I'm also controlling a robot, and when you move, the robot moves. It's similar to those early levels. I think we did them on the quick look where Kiki is moving. So now it's just like this solitary robot that moves when you move, but then you can also, if you add the push modification to it, you can push it to move into a different direction, so it can move the text for you and adjust things instead of you doing it.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And like I spent like a whole hour, not on a main level, but they're on the maps. They're like levels that
stages,
are like,
extra levels,
bonus levels, like little dots. And I thought like, oh, I'm a genius, I solved it. And then I'll unlock another one with like a slightly different variation of that same level of, except now like some of the water, some of the text is blocked off, or you don't have access to some of the text. And I don't know, the game is so great in that it kind of rewards you in thinking outside of the box completely, and coming up with a different solution than what you just saw from like the offset of the beginning of the level. It's great. I love it. I hate it. Yeah.
Did you play it on the farm?
I played it on the farm.
Great.
Like when I couldn't sleep, I'd look out the window, look at little sheep. Pigs are great, by the way.
Oh,
pigs are so brave.
I hear
know.
conflicting reports.
Well, like I walked out and like I was looking around the farm, and then like next thing I know, like this pig starts like walking up to me big and tough and like circles around me, sniffing me out.
I like their little grunts.
Yeah, and then like the next morning, that same pig came up to me and like was just like saying what's up to me.
Yeah.
I named him Conroy.
Nice.
I didn't know his actual name.
Wow.
Man, I also stayed on an Airbnb attached to a barn this weekend, but they didn't have any cool animals. They just had birds that wouldn't shut up all night.
Oh,
Gross.
I
no.
fucking hate birds.
So do I. They're fucking dangerous. They're beady
awful.
eyes. I hate them.
They're rats with wings.
Yes.
We have a bird feeder in our backyard.
Gross.
Hummingbird.
Shoot them.
Small hummingbird-like creatures are okay.
Now these are just like, so that we've fattened up the local birds, and now they're tough and pissed because they're used to eating, and they're used to, and they'll bully other birds off the food and stuff. So, yeah, these big blue birds that are just like, fuck you. Yeah,
Wow.
That's how that pig was.
starting gangs.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why are the
I saw a
birds in
lady.
Sekiro so big?
I saw a lady walking a pig on a leash on my block
Of course.
last week. That's my livestock story.
Yeah.
And watch out for pigs; they'll eat you if you're not careful.
They will.
Will they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
How careful do you have to be?
They'll eat anything.
Not that careful. They have to be pretty hungry, I think.
They don't walk that fast. I was disappointed though that this pig that I met didn't have a little curly tail. I thought that's all
Oh,
pigs.
no.
Is that not a thing?
No.
I
Cartoons have misled me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Break time. We'll be right back.
Cool.
Hey, you've probably heard about Marvel's hit scripted podcast, Wolverine: The Long Night.
I have heard about that.
Well, great.
Word about Wolverine tends to travel.
Yes, he makes his presence felt.
He's a man of some repute.
Well, hey, Gizmodo called it the X-Men crime drama podcast I never knew I wanted.
Crime drama?
Yeah,
So Detective Wolverine?
Wolverine is involved in crimes or the solving thereof.
Wolverine
I feel
Private Dick.
Yeah,
That's his name.
Most of what Wolverine is doing is righting wrongs.
That's his first name, right? Dick.
Yeah.
Dick Wolverine.
Dick Wolverine.
That's his name. Private Eye.
Esquire.
That's him.
Snicked Bub Enterprises.
Yep.
Wolverine is back.
Oh,
That's right.
some might say he never went away.
Hey.
but,
Wolverine is back. I'm
Okay.
reading right here.
Okay.
in a brand new season of the podcast, and you can only hear it on Stitcher Premium.
Oh.
And this season's called Wolverine: The Lost Trail.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I bet it's not going to be lost for long.
It picks up with Logan. That's Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
In the Louisiana Bayou. He heads to New Orleans looking for redemption and his ex, only she's nowhere to be found. Dozens of humans and mutants have gone missing.
Whoa.
And it's up to Wolverine, that's Logan, to find out what's going on. But Weapon X is in pursuit. Along the way, he'll find biker gangs, Gambit, and a refuge run by a powerful mutant.
You know, the Bayou seems like a good place to find Gambit.
If you were going to find Gambit somewhere,
That's probably
and
a
he was
good
gonna
place
be
to start.
Kinetic card. If he was going to say that over and over again, it would be somewhere in the Bayou.
Yep.
You can listen to Wolverine: The Lost Trail right now on Stitcher Premium. If you want a free month of that premium Stitcher action, that's right,
A whole month.
of their premium podcast access.
Wow.
You can head over to wolverinepodcast.com
Okay.
and use the promo code GIANT. Yeah,
Got it.
got it.
That's a big promo.
And check this out. Check this out.
It's a giant promo.
There's a detail here.
What's that?
This podcast was recorded at Stitcher Studios using a 3D microphone.
What?
Yes.
What?
A 3D world of sound.
Spatial audio?
Spatial audio. Wolverine could be behind you. He could be behind you slightly to the left.
We got to get one of those.
Dead center. What are we doing?
Man.
We are not talking into 3D microphones. We're in this podcast. This is a... We need to be up to date on this tech.
Wolverine's got 3D microphones and claws in his hands.
That's
He's
right.
really got one up
He
on
could
us.
be pulling out the claws directly 12 o'clock.
Both sides of your head at the same time.
1 o'clock. Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Yes. Left and right.
The future is wild.
Yeah. That sounds super exciting. Stitcher Premium is where you can hear exclusive early access to podcasts, including Wolverine: The Lost Trail, plus ad-free episodes of podcasts, bonus episodes, exclusive archives of Freakonomics Radio, WTF with Mark Maron, hit shows like from the Parcast and Wondery Network, and so much more.
That sounds like a lot.
That's a lot. Head over to wolverinepodcast.com and use the promo code GIANT, and you can get a free month of all that Stitcher Premium action.
A whole month.
A whole month?
A month's a long time.
That is a long...
It's like somewhere between 28 and 31 days.
You could get a lot of podcasts in a month.
That's right.
If you're really dedicated
That's
to it.
right.
So give it a shot.
I was worried with GDC coming and gone that there wouldn't be any news to talk about this week.
Oh,
But buddy, was I wrong.
boy, were ya?
I've got 11 tabs open.
Good Lord.
Okay.
What do you think?
Good
I love
Lord.
tabs.
A lot of memory.
Yeah.
Should see what my
Nice
memory,
diet soda.
see what my memory usage is here.
One
They have tab
calorie.
out here?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, not widely spread
In the
these days, but
1980s.
yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
before there was a Diet Coke, it
I
was
can't
just
remember.
Tab.
I can't
Wait,
remember
what?
the last time I saw Tab.
It was Coke and Tab.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tab was the only diet soda.
Huh. Okay. I did not
Can't wait
realize
for
that.
new tab.
Wait, is there no non-diet tab?
I don't believe so.
Tab is only diet?
Tab
Well,
X.
Yeah.
So diet tab is an oxymoron? Or,
Yeah, no,
redundant-
there's no- yeah.
redundant, rather. Okay. Bring some tab next time.
All right.
Don't bring any tab in here.
What, you gonna turn down free tab?
Yes,
Why?
gladly, because it's gross.
I haven't had Tab in a long time. I don't know.
It's
I don't
like
remember
bad
it being
Diet
good. But
Coke.
yeah, is it going to taste like that stevia-based shit?
Coke Life.
Wait, what?
I swear that's a thing, right?
Coke Life.
There's like green Coke.
Yeah, I'm living that Coke life.
Hey. I
Oh,
swear it's like stevia
yeah,
Coke.
Yeah.
Try the taste of Coke Life.
Yeah, there we go.
Great
Not
taste,
messing
reduced
with it,
calories. Ooh, it's in a green can?
Yeah. I've seen commercials
Oh,
before
no.
movies.
Is that the
know
one
about
where
that.
it's like we've got acai flavor and just like they're trying to make LaCroix too?
I'm not about that Coke Life. I'm not that specific.
That's
Coke Life.
okay. That's probably that's good for your health. Okay. Yesterday, the Wall Street Journal ran a story, which is now back behind their paywall, so I can't really quote from it directly anymore. About all those rumors about a new Switch coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saying there are actually 2 Switches coming.
You don't say.
I do say.
You did. Well, you did just say.
Yep.
Thankfully, Eurogamer has now run a story this morning confirming everything they said and providing some extra details. So
You don't say.
I don't even need that Wall Street Journal story anymore.
Take that. Paywall. Wait.
That's right. Basically, they said that one model would be targeted at the 3DS audience,
Fake
Okay.
gamers.
kind of, sort of a budget model.
Yeah, like one going low, one going high.
And yes,
but
and the
not
other one,
necessarily in the ways you think. I
and
think
the
was
other one These are the Wall Street Journal's words. The other one would be, quote, would have enhanced features targeted at avid video gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
Us core gamers.
Something for the gamers.
Without really any information about exactly what that would mean.
What's up, gamers?
Other than more power.
You know it's going to be a better screen. You know it's going to be a bigger screen. You know
It's going to be...
It's gonna play Fortnite too.
Fortnite 2.
I saw a pillow for
Switch
sale
2
at Target.
exclusive.
There was a $15 little pillow. What says Fortnite on it?
That's all?
Ooh.
That's it.
Was it in the font?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was an officially licensed Fortnite pillow.
And you didn't buy it and bring it because...
Because I just took a picture of it instead,
God damn it.
which is
good. That's good enough.
pretty much yeah.
Yeah.
So your gamers talked to their own sources close to Nintendo and basically confirmed what the Wall Street Journal said.
It's Mario.
Oh. What do you think? Do you really think he's in the loop?
It's
I
Reggie.
think he's close to Nintendo.
Reggie's
most
just like,
of them.
I will
Now's the
burn
time.
them down.
Yeah, but they don't keep him. They don't keep Mario in the know.
He makes himself in
He's,
the know.
he's too much of a...
He just gets his sides and just shows up and reads the lines.
Yeah.
It's a me.
That's right.
All right, I'll see you guys in the next year.
And they take him out for sushi, and then
Yeah.
they don't see him for 6 months. So I'm gonna read some of this Eurogamer story because it just has a lot more context than what the Wall Street Journal had.
Also the tab thing.
There's also that. So basically, the Wall Street Journal, like I said that this cheaper one was supposed to cater to the 3DS audience, but what Eurogamer says is on the cheaper option. Yesterday's report suggested it would be aimed at casual gamers still using the 3DS. The company is keen to move these players over to Switch. But rather than comparing it to a 3DS, Nintendo is, I'm told, keen to recapture the 2DS value proposition.
Yeah.
Similar to 2DS, the unit's design will be sturdier than the current Switch model in order to be, quote, kid-proof. Costs will be driven down by the removal of several features. The Wall Street Journal yesterday mentioned they would be taking the HD Rumble out.
Those Joy-Cons are going to be connected at
So
all
that
times.
they don't say that in here, but I have to assume.
Handheld only
I have to
mode.
assume. So that's where we're really getting to here is that yes, this is a handheld only system.
Yeah.
Are they confirming that, or is that what you're inferring?
That's what
from?
Eurogamer is saying.
Okay.
I'm just getting ahead of myself a little bit. I was just
Yeah.
going to say they don't know if it's just that HD Rumble is coming out or if it's just not going to have any vibration. Period. They weren't able to confirm that.
I think
But yes, but they do. Well,
vibration on the Switch really sucks.
it's not my favorite.
I think the HD Rumble
the
stuff
HD
is
Rumble-
neat for its specific use of just holding a Joy-Con.
Yeah.
But the pitch that it vibrates
Yes.
at, the sound it makes when it vibrates,
It's not-
awful.
It's not great.
is terrible. It's just like it's like
I don't
a cheap
have any issues
phone.
with that.
He
Yeah.
It's like
nailed it.
Yes.
it is like a cheap
It is.
cell phone.
It is like that. It's the worst type of like your phone is vibrating on your desk feeling.
Totally.
It sounds. Ugh. Yes, I agree.
The sound of the Joy-Con vibrating against the Switch itself.
Yeah.
Like it just makes that
Yes.
feeling of a phone on a desk without it being
Yep.
on a desk.
Yep.
It's the
Totally.
worst.
Totally.
Oh.
Yeah. So we don't know if they'd be putting different motors in this kind of cheap Switch or none at all.
Ultra HD Rumble. I want
4K Rumble.
4K Rumble.
Okay, now we're talking.
Feel all the balls.
HDR Rumble. This Rumble is fucking dark.
I want my future generations to feel this rumble.
All Rumble is dark. Yeah. So they say an even bigger change appears to be in the cards, as several people familiar with the plans have told me the company has designed its budget Switch for an audience which uses it in handheld mode only.
I wonder how much of a real savings there is for not having that part in it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you mean the TV output stuff?
Yeah.
Well, it's that, and it's also non-detachable Joy-Cons, which
Yeah, I mean they
feel
don't
like-
they don't
Right,
say
yeah.
that in here, but you have to assume if it's handheld only, why would they be detachable?
Yeah,
I guess the thing I would say to that is like, okay, but you could still dock it and use a Pro controller. Like how much is the savings there? How much money are they really saving on building a Switch if they take out like the wireless functionality?
That's something. Out of the
Yeah.
Joy-Cons, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. I mean,
I
that
mean, out
also
of the Joy-Cons, but also like, do they take it out of the system so you can only use it with the Joy-Cons if it's handheld only?
Oh.
You know, can someone else bring a Pro controller?
Yeah,
and
well,
let
they're
play
still-
two-player.
They're always going to want to leave the option of selling you more accessories.
I don't know, man.
I mean, this story comes out and says they don't know for sure if you will or will not be able to output it to a TV.
right.
Like they didn't rule out that it will not be able to output to a TV. It's just that they are focusing it on people who want to use it
naturally.
as a
Yeah, that makes total sense.
The idea of the Nintendo Switch, a console which is named around its ability to switch between handheld and docked mode, not having a docked mode is insane.
I mean, but they make that exact same point and also say, hey, they took the 3D out of the 3DS. Like
yeah, but they called it something else. They called it the 2DS.
Well, who knows what this will be called? Like this may have some
4DS.
There you go.
It doesn't even have dual screens. It is not even 2D or it's not even 3D, let alone 4D.
Once you play video games that haven't even come out yet.
Oh, sweet. Early access comes to Nintendo.
Smell-o-vision.
What everyone's wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they did not explicitly confirm that it will never be able to output to a TV, just that's not how it's being
That's not the
positioned.
focus. That makes sense. But I guess I would say like if they were to make Joy-Cons or the controls that were not detachable from it, then one player would always be holding it. And that would be weird if a second player showed up with a Pro controller.
Oh, sure.
And you're like, hey, stop moving it. Stop moving it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Stop moving it.
you
Unless you
can
show up
attach
with two Pro controllers, and then you ignore the controls on the system
It's
itself.
possible?
Yeah.
It's possible, but is that...
Well, I mean, there are just so many benefits to building them into the system.
I would also assume that this is a smaller device.
Probably. Yeah, I could see that.
I would hope it would have as much, if not more, battery power. If it's
Well, that's one of the
gonna be-
benefits. If the whole thing is one giant footprint, you can fill all that space with battery if you don't have to accommodate things coming off the sides. Also, those things are somewhat fragile. Like that's another thing for kids to break potentially is the way those things mount. It's not amazing.
I mean, shit, man. I'm a goddamn adult and I broke one of mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did they say any features for the other one?
No, it's basically it sounds like more power. I actually, specifically what Eurogamer clarified on top of that was my laptop just went to sleep. I need to.
Oh, all those tabs are gone now.
That's right. Quoting from their story, I've heard the bump will be comparable to the one received by the 3DS upon its new 3DS relaunch.
Okay.
So basically, yeah.
Well, so yeah, I'd have to look at the specs. From what I remember, the horsepower bump to the new was actually pretty huge. It's just they never
games
did
didn't use it.
anything.
Yeah,
with it.
so it becomes a question of like, is this something that all games can take some advantage of, even if they weren't coded for it?
Because I don't
like
think
a boost
that's
mode scenario.
Yeah, I don't think that's
or-
how the 3DS worked at all.
No,
It's just some new games used it.
It wasn't
And some
until like
required
the
it,
one that
yeah.
and the PS4 Pro that we really saw
Yeah.
like that kind of console.
In fact, the new 3DS situation was shameful because then they were putting out games on the base 3DS that barely ran. Like, remember Hyrule Warriors was apparently
Yeah.
like barely playable on a regular and ran fine on a new.
I think you would find some people saying similar things about the PS4 these days.
Yeah.
Like I said, I saw some people that were very angry about Sekiro.
That's I mean, this is the first one that this and God of War a little bit. Yeah, it's just like I feel like they didn't design this game for me.
Yeah. Well, also these consoles are just getting old.
Yeah.
Like they're over 5 years old now. Like
Yeah,
we're getting to that point where they're just being pushed beyond their limits.
In a world where new consoles are out next year or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess that's
It's not as surprising. Yeah, that's kind of all the info they have about that new one. I wish there was a little more context for what that means, but
They didn't mention pricing or anything.
no, definitely not.
well, that's okay. Interesting.
It is, yeah. You just kind of immediately start thinking to yourself, like, am I going to buy a new Switch next? Also, the report yesterday said that both of them could come out this summer, but it seems like there's some wiggle room in that maybe the cheap one is going to come out sooner and the better one might not come out till next year.
That's what my assumption would be that.
Yeah.
When I think about Nintendo's current slate of announced games for the Switch, and where stuff is likely to fall over the next, 6 to 12 months, like the cheaper model put out whenever, because it's you're targeting a different demographic, you're doing all sorts of different stuff, but it's inherently the same Switch, so whatever.
Yeah. Well, especially you want to get that thing out before or with Pokemon.
Sure.
Like you want to get it into the hands of kids who want to play Pokemon.
Yeah. But for the like an upscale one, that's the one where you probably want some games to show off with it and say like, hey, here's what this thing can do.
Yeah. Which I feel like they did with new 3DS for about a month and then never mentioned again.
If that, man.
And a lot of those games were only exclusive because of the extra
Right.
analog nub, not because of the horsepower.
It was like the people that benefited the most from like the 3DS clock speed bump were people hacking 3DSs.
Sure. I mean, there is also that weird aspect of this of like remember people saying the first however many million Switches produced were like permanently compromised.
Yeah,
in terms of security. So who knows if that has something to do with this?
Well, it's stuff that they would do anyway, probably. Yeah. But also, there's an element of like, hey, if we can get people to upgrade to a different Switch, then that's one more of those Switches that is not out there being bad. Yeah. Maybe it goes in a drawer. Actually, they probably sell it. But I don't know what the firmware situation is with a Switch. If you've upgraded past a certain point, if you can't do that stuff anymore, it was supposed to be a flaw that was inherent to the hardware. But I don't know how much they've mitigated that with software around the edges. But I haven't kept up with that stuff.
Do you think that they still continue making the base Switch?
Probably depends on the pricing of the new one.
I would think no, but I feel like having 3 Switch SKUs out there is a little too complicated.
But if these SKUs are really skewed, in price,
I guess so. Sure.
I'm calling $250 for the light, $500 for
think?
the heavy.
Unless they get weird with like, hey, this higher tier, this upscaled one, this up tier model is docked only or something.
Oh, that I can't imagine.
No way.
One of each, man, and then you got one that's right in the middle. It's like, hey, if you can't make up your fucking mind, we've got a Switch for you also.
Why would you possibly want a docked only one?
More power.
I packed for PAX and left my Switch at home. Because I just don't.
Oh, man,
really? I don't. Yeah. Like I looked at it and I was like, I should bring this with me. And then I looked at it and said, what would I play on it? And I was like,
there's stuff.
Oh yeah, there's
absolutely. But most of that stuff is stuff I'm already playing elsewhere. So it like there's nothing I'm currently playing on the Switch.
There are not a lot of Nintendo exclusives lately.
Yeah. So they're like my Switch has been in my bag since Trials came out, and I tried Trials for a little bit. And we're like, oh, this runs poorly. And didn't play it on the Switch anymore.
Some of those cross-platform games are way better portable, though.
Totally.
Last time I traveled, I had
you're absolutely right.
I had Wargroove with me, and I would much rather play Wargroove handheld.
All I'm saying is that with how I use a Switch right now, it wouldn't really matter.
Sure.
If there was one that was TV only, and if I could get if I could get a more powerful Switch, and then the hamstring on that was like you can't take it with you anywhere, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. I don't need. That's not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, I feel like you're in a huge minority in that front, though. I feel like most people come to the Switch because it's like, yes, I will get those Nintendo, first party games, but I also have access to every indie game that's come out on Steam in the last 15 years. And when it's not your job to play video games, it's very easy to miss a lot of those. I know it's not in news, but I saw they put out that updated list of the most downloaded indies.
On the eShop?
On the eShop, yeah. And
I've seen numbers out of Nintendo that often.
Yeah, you don't. It was interesting seeing what was up there. I completely now blanking. I had the top 3.
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells was up there for sure.
Here it is.
Oh, wait, is
this from a few weeks ago?
Maybe like a week or 2.
Nindies hits spotlight some of the hottest indie games.
I don't know.
I'll try to find it.
Okay. Well,
as you were.
More tabs.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that thing is best as a system that can do both. But I think for me personally, if hey, here's a more powerful device that you might play somewhat more video games on.
I mean, I like having the flexibility, but I also don't think that thing is pleasant to play in handheld for long stretches of time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like trying to lie down in bed or something.
Sure.
Like
I think for me, the one
like
use case that kind of blows that out of the water for me is like Mario Maker is better with a touchscreen.
Yeah.
So
here's the top 10 current selling Switch indie games: Stardew Valley, Hollow Knight, Overcooked 2, Undertale, Dead Cells, Enter the Gungeon, Graceful Explosion Machine, Celeste, Golf Story, and Overcooked. And it's like, yeah, I mean, those are all games that came out within the last year or two, with the exception of Stardew, I guess.
Yeah.
And the idea of having a console where it's like, yeah, those are the most popular games and it's docked only, it's like, well, just have a PC, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a PC.
Yeah.
So that's where I've been playing Bob as you.
Well, then you're back to just, GameCube again, of just playing all the Nintendo exclusives on there and nothing
Pretty much.
Yeah, dude, yeah. GameCube again.
So here's my idea. Okay, let's get best of both worlds. It'll be not a portable system, but it'll have like a separate tablet you can use, so you can still play things with a touch screen that tethers to the base device. What do you say?
As long as you put a handle on it.
All right, okay. Did I ever read an email to that effect?
That like what? That would
About
be like, man,
Basically what you just described.
what if the upgraded Switch was just the Wii U again?
No, we were right.
Yeah.
We knew what you wanted before you knew what you wanted.
Motherfuckers.
I don't know if I think I had that in the massive email hopper, and I may have purged it at some point.
Reggie died for this.
That's he did not.
I'll look around for it.
Not
Anyway,
bad.
He died so the Bigfoot pizza can come back.
yeah, I don't know. I wonder.
Did it come back?
It's coming back.
There's a bunch of questions to ask, like, does this souped up Switch have a higher resolution screen?
Right.
Right.
Like, do the games run better in handheld than they do on the old one? Because, the current Switch clocks itself way down when it's off. When it's
And
off
that's for
wall
battery
power.
reasons. You
Yeah.
know, it's like that's still a concern.
Yeah.
Unless you're throwing a way bigger battery in it and making it like probably less portable.
Well, maybe, or, are they on a processor with a smaller process that is more power
sure.
efficient now?
Right,
So maybe
yeah.
you get more battery that way. Like, there's all kinds of like quality of life stuff
I would
around
love
the
better
Switch that could
Joy-Cons.
get better.
I would love
Yeah.
like better sticks on those.
Yeah,
better
like, that's-
buttons.
But there's nothing stopping them from making better Joy-Cons that bolt onto a regular Switch.
Like even that is
totally.
like even that is a question. Like, is it going to be a new form factor that necessitates new Joy-Cons, or can you use the old ones with it? Do they fit?
Oh yeah.
It's got a middle prong with a trigger under it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right, check it out. Lima bean shaped buttons
Love it.
arranged in a
All right.
ring
Yep.
around a big fat major action
big
button.
fat major
Beauty.
buttons. Major
like-
buttons. I
it's like
served with that guy
The big
in Korea.
the big button is red, so
Ooh,
you'll really
you'll-
want to hit it.
Oh yeah.
Or is it green? It's not
There's
green.
like a little
Actually,
flip down
you might be
case,
right.
glass case in front of it. It is green.
Now you're talking.
The
Is it
B-
green?
The B
I
button's
think
red.
it's green.
No, you're right. It is green. Well, you know what? Green means go.
Played
Yep.
enough Smash.
I love to
know
go.
that.
That makes sense.
Pokemon Go. Green media. Think about it.
Yeah, I'm into it.
All right.
Yeah.
You said the magic words.
Yeah.
Yep. Pokemon, go to the store and buy this new Switch. I don't know. We'll see if it's, whatever. I've just got the upgrade anxiety of like, man, do I have to buy a new Switch already? I feel like I just got one.
You do not have to buy a new Switch.
What if it's better?
It's a Nintendo
it
thing,
may
Jeff.
be
I have
better.
to buy it.
You know what? I'm going to fucking buy that Switch. I'm going to update the firmware on it. I'm going to install all my games. I'm going to download all my cloud saves.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to put it in the
God.
dock.
Yep.
And I'm never going to play it.
Awesome.
But I'm going to feel really good
Hell
about it.
yeah. I'm with you.
Yep.
Day one. I'm in.
I play the Switch sometimes. Yeah, we'll see. It is a weird situation because they
Start
don't.
selling T-shirts that say "I play the Switch sometimes."
Winky face.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Switch plays me.
I would
Yeah.
buy one of those because
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah,
Only wear the truth.
they've got a pretty exceptionally poor track record of carrying out this exact process with the
yeah,
DS to
like the
the
upgrade,
DS, the
like-
DS to the DSi, and then the 3DS to the new 3DS. In both cases, it's like better hardware they did nothing with.
Right.
So who knows what this actually
In
is?
some
Well,
cases,
now-
where like Minecraft could only run on a new 3DS. I
There
think.
were
was
there were examples, but it was just not.
Now they have the two in between consoles that Sony
Yeah,
and Microsoft have
yes,
done as
like
kind
maybe-
of guiding light. So maybe they.
maybe those consoles have changed expectations for
Yeah.
people around what these things.
But
should
it's also
do.
Nintendo, so who knows?
Yeah.
Well,
Anything could happen.
it really is, and Nintendo did get better at it a little
the
bit.
2DS is great.
Yeah, but also like
Yeah.
the games that would take advantage of that support if you had a new 3DS.
Yeah.
Like there was some stuff like was it like Mario Maker? I want to say even Mario Maker 3DS, which was not a good game
yeah.
no matter what. But like I feel like if
Smash.
you were playing it only on the
the new.
original 3DS, it was like worse.
Smash 4 was like that
So-
too when it was DS first before it came out on.
Okay.
I guess Hyrule Warriors, but that was
Yeah.
a case of like, okay, this you clearly built this for the new one, and at the expense of the old.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have no doubt they will execute this like cheap like budget model perfectly well.
Totally,
it's,
yeah.
because that one's selling to a new audience, so that's fine.
Yeah.
It's more of the kind of value proposition that they're trying to get people to upgrade from the Switch they already bought. Like,
What if they only have internal memory? Man, that would suck. So
I feel like even the 3DS
Oh, no,
has always had external.
you mean on the budget one?
yeah,
Oh no, you always have to let people expand their storage because that's how you sell them more games.
right. Well,
Like that's required at this point. Speaking of the Switch, Nintendo had a live stream last week that was totally not a direct. I guess
It's like a GDC, like indies.
Nindies Showcase.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Oh, yeah.
They do not use the word direct anywhere, even though it's kind of basically a direct for indies. Excuse me, Nindies.
Indies.
Where they announced some stuff. I'm just going to skip right to the end.
Can we start? Can we just like? Can we go to Zindies on the Xbox and Cindy's for PlayStation or Cindy's or Pindies? What do you want?
Cindy's.
Pindies.
It'd be Cindy's because it's Nindies. It's not Swindies.
But then there'd be Mindy's
Trying
for
to
the
trying to
Xbox.
swindle you into buying these indies.
Okay, I'm in on these Mindies.
Mindy's and Cindy's.
Let me get these Mindies and Cindy's. You know what I'm saying?
I think.
Shout outs to all the Mindy's and
Yeah.
Cindy's
What
out
up
there.
What up, Mindies?
Also, speaking
Cindy's
of
also hello.
speaking of dumb names for things and people hacking switches, did you see that new NES emulator that just came out?
I did not.
For the Switch.
Is it called?
It's called PNES.
Oh, I think that I think that might be a port of an existing.
It's very
PC.
possible.
Yeah.
But in the grand tradition of Nesticle
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Genesis,
Genesis.
I just had to throw that out there. Yeah, this was the last thing on this
I don't
stream,
get it.
but I don't care.
Goodness.
We're talking about it first. They're making a fucking Zelda-themed Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Oh my god.
Oh,
What
yeah.
in the hell?
It's a great idea.
If you gave
It's
me
so
an
good.
hour to come up with my dream game, I wouldn't have come up with something better than that.
It is so inspired. I don't think I would have come up with it. Period.
No.
Like, it came out of nowhere.
Like,
All right, how about Bubsy visual novel where he fucks.
Okay.
woo!
Yeah,
Could
right.
there be a rhythm
right?
element?
Yeah.
I've got material at
A
the ready.
yeah. Oh, there's a rhythm element.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
If you get it wrong, the story takes a very different turn.
Only if I have to buy carrots.
Okay.
Even
That's-
that,
yeah.
even that trailer is so good because for the first
Yeah.
10 seconds you think it's just a Necrodancer sequel, and then
Yeah.
But then
the music doesn't even turn over. It's that they start slowly introducing the tile set from Link to the Past.
Yeah.
As she's hopping around, and you're like, wait, is that one of those trees? What?
It's so cool
And
on
then
multiple levels, man.
It is, yeah, man.
Just the fact that like Nintendo is this is a new side for Nintendo, like lending out one of their biggest
Yeah.
IPs
Yeah, this
to
is
this
published
indie
by
studio. That
also this is published by Spike Chunsoft, which like I
Oh,
don't know how
weird.
they got mixed up in this
Yeah.
whole thing. Like it seems like the kind of thing Nintendo would put out themselves,
Right.
Yeah.
if at all.
Yeah.
totally.
But to involve a third party publisher and this kind of random indie roguelike.
yeah, maybe the Mario and Rabbids thing like just really inspired them to
Maybe.
say, hey,
Yeah, it's
maybe
like
this
there's
will
that
work
and-
another.
And, you know,
Another
they've
games.
been, well, I say loosening the reins, but I guess they've always been very selective about like, oh,
Totally, yeah.
Namco's going to make the Star Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
let them.
Sure.
It always felt a little more like, yeah, you guys do it. We don't have time. We're busy working on the stuff we actually care about.
I can't wait to hear the shopkeeper singing that
Oh.
all those Zelda songs.
Man.
Oh my god.
And like you can play as Link and Zelda from the looks of things, in addition to Cadence. Maybe I have the wrong idea, but I always felt like Crypt of the Necrodancer maybe didn't get its due.
It was definitely like
it's very.
I feel like the
It had
people who
a
liked
cult.
it liked
It
it
was
a
a
lot.
cult.
It's
Yeah.
very
Game.
polarizing. I guess I know a lot of people who really did not enjoy it,
mm,
but people like me who did.
I think I came away from it going like, this is fine.
Okay.
And didn't
I loved
necessarily
it.
like I was like this seems really cool. I did not feel especially drawn to it.
Mm.
So I look at this and go like, that's a great idea. It's not necessarily for me, but goddamn, that's great that they're doing
it's
it.
a great precedent.
Yeah.
Even if you're not into Necrodancer, the idea that we could like ultimately it's a cameo by a character you like in another game, which is cool, but just think of the possibilities,
Put Samus in Axiom Verge 2. Let's go.
That's too close though.
But
That's
yeah,
like
but
she's-
what if? Yeah, but sure.
it'd be like put Samus.
Okay, fine. Put Kid Icarus
Like this is a
in a
weird
visual novel
mashup.
with Bubsy.
Yes.
Put Kid Icarus and Luftrausers too.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. It needs to be a weird mashup.
There needs to be a Luftrausers too.
Yeah.
The only thing that kind of concern, I don't know, maybe concern is a strong word, but reading the language in the press release about this makes it sound like it's not a roguelike. It's just a kind of a straight start to finish
Really?
quest.
Oh, huh.
Like
Huh.
I'm inferring a little bit, but that's kind of how they make it sound. So
And that game had a billion different like modes and
that's
characters.
the thing.
and
Like
stuff
Necrodancer
that-
has so much replay value that I worry that you would just kind of play through this once. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they'll add extra stuff.
Hmm.
I never fucking beat that game, dude. The last boss of that game is.
beat that game.
Have you finished it?
Yeah, I got all the way up to the last character in the timeline who you have to move on the beat or else you die.
Nice.
Ugh, God.
Wow.
You start at the last world though, so it's not like it's insane still. I can't defend it at all. It's
I never
insane.
even beat the game with the first character. I've gotten to the last boss several times, but you have to control two different characters at the
yeah,
same time.
that took me so long to wrap my head around. Oh, it's a good game. This made me like re-download it. I haven't touched it yet, but I was like, maybe I should revisit this.
It's a heck of a game. That is coming out Let's see. I had the date in front of me.
I was going to say
today.
Yeah, I was going to say summer, but
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Let's say summer.
Let's say summer.
That's what I'm going to say.
Summer. That's fun to say.
Summer.
They announced a bunch
Summer.
of. They announced a bunch of stuff. Cuphead is coming to the Switch, which we have a quick look for on the website
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Sounds like maybe Xbox stuff might come.
Yeah,
to that
they're
later.
patching that in. They're patching in
Have
the
they
Xbox
very
Live stuff.
firmly said they're going to?
Yes.
That's so strange.
The language seemed a little more like we're looking into it and hope to do that.
It's like our first
They
patch in
flat out
like,
said they
later
will.
in the summer is to add that stuff.
So
I
does
think
that mean
I'll find.
You get achievements on the
that's
Switch.
yeah? So does that mean like save comes over and achievements and stuff?
Chivos on it.
I don't know that it necessarily means that your save would come over.
I just
but,
in a single player game, I don't know what else that would do.
We'll be working with Studio. This is from Microsoft. We'll be working with Studio MDHR to implement Xbox Live features into Cuphead on the Switch in the coming months. This will appear in a post-launch update, but that's basically all they say.
I feel like save game and achievements are pretty much the only thing you could
Well, no,
get out of that.
Well, yeah, achievements
else is
would be
there?
the achievements would be the thing.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Friends list leaderboards,
Leaderboards. yeah.
Well, sure.
that sort of stuff. But save coming over, I feel like is that I would not expect that. I guess, but that's certainly possible. But that would not be something I would assume.
Right.
I was interested in that taxi
Neo
game.
is it Neo
What-
Neocab.
Yeah,
Neocab seems cool.
We talked to, I believe we were talking to Neocab developers at E3 a little bit.
That could be
yeah.
true.
Taxi driving adventure game.
Yeah, you're
how
like
it's
the last
described.
human cabbie in a world overrun by like auto
Robot cabs.
robocabs, and there's
Huh.
a big corp like breathing down your neck. Seems cool.
Yeah.
Seems cyberpunk.
They talk about a number of things that have been announced before and announced some others. Nuclear Throne is on Switch. They showed off My Friend Pedro, which looks kind of cool.
Yes.
What else did they do?
Wasn't the Double Fine?
Yeah, I was going to get to that because I actually have played that.
Yeah.
Some other stuff. There's the game Creature in the Well, which is like an overhead action / pinball game.
And didn't they also announce the new the follow up to Nuclear Throne, but like not really say much about
It's
it?
not
Bug.
Ultra Bugs.
Ultra Bugs.
No, so my understanding is that's the first of. This is described as a growing collection of mini games that kicks off this spring with a shooter called Ultra Bugs.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But the actual umbrella product is called Vlambeer Games.
Huh.
So it sounds like maybe they'll be making small games to add to that.
That's cool.
Super Crate Box is also coming
Yeah.
to the
Hell
Switch.
yeah. I'll play more of that. It's been a while since I played that game.
And then they Double Fine announced a game called Rad, which I went to Double Fine
Rad.
and played a couple weeks ago.
Is it based on the movie?
No.
I'm
Damn.
out.
No bikes.
Nope.
Ah,
No, thank you.
Send me an
I can't
angel and
say
say-
there aren't bikes,
All right.
but it is
Specs are
a
there.
Is Hell Track in it?
it is a maybe.
All right.
It is a twice irradiated wasteland. So I'm gonna guess probably not
So
a lot
you
of
get
bikes.
even more flavor in there.
It's-
Yeah. Seal it in.
There was an apocalypse, and then there was another apocalypse.
So nice they did it twice.
Yeah. It's an overhead. It's a roguelike that's kind of overhead, like Zelda style action, where you mutate. Basically, as you kill enemies or hit certain plants or like do things in the environment, you have a little rad meter that fills up, and every time that fills, a random mutation pops.
Like a
Gross.
perk kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly yes. I can't remember if they said for sure there are no negative mutations.
Okay, yeah, but
don't
like
think there
that,
are,
like
but
a
they are new
perk
abilities.
type of
Yes, they are new
a
abilities.
type of switch that you would think of.
I'm trying to think. Like, one of the ones I got was like a big pustule grew out of my back that had a face and would shoot things randomly or like automatically, but I
Yeah.
could also drop it on the ground and it would act as like a turret.
Okay.
I got a thing that turned my head into like a big gas bag that would slowly fill up over time, and when I jumped, it basically let you float longer
Oh.
in midair, or you could discharge the gas and like push enemies away from you.
I've been discharging gas
Yes.
for years.
Yeah.
You said there's like no different weapons, right? It's just
There
kind
are
of these-
actually.
Oh,
but
okay.
they didn't show any off. Apparently, all your weapons are different types of baseball bats.
Uh-huh.
The one I
No
started
knives?
with,
Take note.
yeah, the one I started with, there are edges to the world that you can fall off of. The bat that I started with teleports you back up if you fall,
Oh, cool.
but there are other bats you can pick instead that will not give you that, but give you other stuff.
I was gonna say, like, until you started talking about bats, this was starting to sound kind of like Nuclear Throne.
Yeah.
A little bit. It doesn't play very similarly.
Okay.
It's got a little bit of maybe it's probably doesn't lean too far in this direction, but almost reminded me of like Breath of the Wild, where like enemies will drop raw meat that can heal you, but if the meat is exposed to heat, it will cook the meat, and then it's worth more. I'm not sure if there are a lot of like systemic interactions like that, like water and electricity and stuff like that, but there's a little bit. It's cool. It's 80s themed without necessarily being overly cheesy about it.
Okay.
It's not like Stranger Things.
There's not really. There's some really good fake Duran Duran in the soundtrack.
Okay.
I can tell you that. It seems cool. It's being run by or directed by Lee Petty, who did Stacking and Headlander.
Yeah.
It's neat. I want to play more of it.
What's the last Double Fine game?
Was it the Psychonauts VR thing?
Yeah, the
Maybe.
Rhombus.
God, that was like 2.5 years ago. Surely they've put something out since then.
Iron Brigade 2.
Yep, that's the one.
Psychonauts 2? Did
Not
that
out
come
yet.
out? Okay.
No, still.
Majesco.
That's right. With Starbreeze collapsing, we're just waiting for Majesco to swoop in and rescue it.
Yeah.
Full Throttle Remastered appears to be.
Okay.
Yeah, the Psychonauts VR and Full Throttle Remastered looks like, and then Headlander before that. Anyway, a lot of indies coming to the Switch. That Dancing Zelda seems pretty special.
Yeah.
That's something that I feel like Nintendo has just been doing so fucking amazingly with since before the launch of the Switch. Is just like getting indie developers on board and getting them on the platform and all that other stuff. Like they really have built that stuff out this generation.
Yep. Seems to be doing gangbusters for them. Sony has gotten into the Nintendo Direct business.
Huh. It was funny. Nintendo Direct was trending on Twitter because so many people were saying Sony's doing a Nintendo Direct that Sony wasn't trending.
Wow.
Man, that's probably frustrating if you're in charge of putting this stream together.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
State of Play is what they're calling it.
I mean, they were kind of the only ones not doing anything.
Yeah.
Microsoft does that
they've
inside
been doing
Xbox
their-
thing.
And I guess Microsoft is also launching a separate ID at Xbox video show, which might be happening today. I forget, or soon, I believe. Anyway,
Skateboard decks for everybody.
Yes. They got the right people in charge.
These are good-looking skateboard decks.
PlayStation State of Play is what Sony is calling their video show. The first one ran yesterday. I guess Iron Man VR is probably the biggest news out of that.
That does, sound fun. Like
being
in theory.
Made by Camouflage, who made
Republic.
Oh, cool.
Republic.
What if it's better than Anthem?
They didn't show.
I mean,
pretty short trailer. It looked like it's kind of a first-person like flight shooter, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like it's weird.
You get to be the Iron Man.
Something about saying announcing an Iron Man VR sounds like a very limited experience. It sounds like here's a almost
like a
tech
universal
demo
ride.
level. Yeah,
that was the
like that does, and that's terrible. But like my go-to reaction for like, hey, we're doing Iron Man VR is just like, okay, is that like a free thing or like just as a
no?
Go to the mall.
I guess not.
You can play it.
Yeah, totally. I don't know if it's on rails or if the flight is totally free form.
Yeah,
but who knows? Who knows if there's maybe there is some more like.
It sounds like marketing is what I mean to say is it
yes.
sounds like something that a movie studio would like go to
Release
a studio and say
alongside
do
of a
this
movie.
and we're going to put it out alongside Avengers. Whatever.
I will say they have 100% closed the loop now because the PlayStation VR marketing started with a bunch of front-on shots of people in a headset looking around going, whoa!
Yeah.
And now you can do that in the Iron Man suit.
Okay.
Which is exactly what that was designed to emulate.
I will definitely give that a shot.
I guess, I don't know, like considering Sony just came off of a super successful Marvel collaboration that was like, I don't know, really robust.
Yeah.
Like this looks like a very kind of small thing. So not quite the same thing.
There was that MK trailer, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Ooh, very good trailer.
Yeah, well, that's, I don't know, that's kind of down the list for me. I mean, No Man's Sky VR is the other big thing to me. Like that's a big effing deal.
I think that could be really cool.
I feel like a little surprised that it took them so long to get there that I had forgotten that it was a thing that like at the launch of No Man's Sky, people were saying like, so is this going to be VR or what? Like people were asking those questions then.
I mean, I think they made the right call because if they'd done VR first and then you get in
if
there
they had to support that and
realize there's nothing much to do, then you just pull that headset off. But I don't think we talked about this kind of Beyond update that they have been talking about for the last couple weeks, but
Yeah.
they already announced the first. So I guess this is all happening this summer. But this Beyond update, the first component is they're basically making an MMO. Like it sounds like it's all just one big connected world now.
Yeah.
Anybody can run into anybody. It's not that really limited like 4-player thing they rolled out last year.
Well, it's like a 4-player thing that would like people would kind of end up in your world, and so you would occasionally have people like invading.
Yes, but this sounds much more
seamless.
Yeah, this sounds more massively multiplayer. I don't want to say that you're not going to have like 64 people running around on the same planet necessarily, but
it's a big universe.
They made it sound like it's much more of an actual connected online world, and then now they've announced this VR stuff. And I think they said that there's one more component to this Beyond update that they haven't talked about yet. I don't know what that is, but the VR stuff's coming to PSVR and Steam.
The Legend of Zelda.
There you go. And it's a rhythm game.
Weirdly
enough.
Great.
I don't know how this was going to... I'm curious how this is going to be on a PS4, because I feel like that game was not the smoothest on a PS4 to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have to get it running at a way smoother frame rate. I wonder if there's any compromises there.
Yeah. Well, it's also that the VR stuff's coming to PC as well.
Yeah, it's coming to Steam also. But they do say anything you can do in the base game, you can do in VR. It is the whole game. So, and
they're getting a new retail release also with all this stuff rolled in, I guess, on PlayStation.
Yeah. They showed off. It was mostly VR stuff.
Yeah, it felt like a very VR focused announcement, which I guess that's their differentiator, right? Like that's the thing that no one else. Well, Nintendo. Just about to get into the cardboard VR business.
I just saw a story like this morning that the PSVR has sold over 4 million units now.
Yeah.
So that thing is a pretty big success. They put a date on Days Gone. That's April 26th.
Oh, that's pretty soon.
It's surprising to me that game is not out. I just feel like you don't hear anything. You don't hear much about it in the sense of like, I forgot it existed.
Yeah.
And
like
I remember when I remember
they just
that
had people go play it like relatively recently, and I had already forgotten about that since then.
They're really just throwing it kind of under the bus.
I don't know. Like if they were really throwing it under the bus, like they'd be talking way more about Last of Us at this point.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel
it
like
feels like it has its own lane. It'll come out and get its own shot.
Yeah.
But I guess I just feel like I have not.
Nothing.
Like when I saw it, it didn't look great. Like in the time since then, like it has not. Yeah, it's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it'll come out and fucking wow everybody. You'd be like, oh shit, wow, they actually did a bunch of different stuff with it. Cool. But
it just lacked an identity.
Yep.
There's nothing to latch on to be like, oh, that game.
I just kind of
I zombies are called freakers.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it's got its own identity.
I guess I just felt this way about the Back 4 Blood announcement. Also, was this feeling of just like, oh, cool, another zombie IP. That's what we need.
Well, like, but that's a specific kind of game that hasn't been made in a while.
And it's they're like
Back 4 Blood.
That's the like Turtle Rock making a new Left 4 Dead.
You didn't say Back 4 Blood.
Sorry. But I don't know. Like, is Walking Dead still on the air? Is that TV show still a TV show?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Okay.
They just had their most brutal episode yet.
Yeah. It just kind of feels like we're into it now in a way that like the idea of, hey, we've got new zombie IP. Like, why? Yeah. There's so much. There's so much.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Turtle Rock gets a pass because they can't call it Left 4 Dead 3. But other than that, it just like, especially Days Gone, where you look at it and you just go like, oh, you're kind of just okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to key off some of the visual elements that like you think of Walking Dead, like or this biker stuff. I don't know, man. Like I'm kind of inherently not into zombies to begin with, so
they're
whatever.
Scary.
But that's why. It's because they're just too freaky.
Yeah.
This freaker.
They're like eating brains.
This freakers. This fucking zombies stealing phone service. Zombie with a fucking red box. Blowing 2600 hertz.
An open world with zombies not necessarily in short supply.
Yeah,
but I feel like the Back 4 Blood stuff is filling a specific niche.
Totally. Yes.
People are looking for and have not had for a long time.
Yes, but I feel like that they're like I look at that and go, okay, they get a pass because of that lineage and legacy and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to imagine sitting down in 2018, 2017, even. It's like, we got this new zombie game. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Then they ran that MK trailer, which younger versions of the characters.
Yep.
Got some time travel stuff.
What's up with that?
New
Jax versus old Jax.
Chronica, the new, the first female boss in Mortal Kombat history, has control over time.
Right.
So the whole point of this whole storyline hinges on the idea of everything, all the events of all the previous games kind of coming into play and being fucked with a little bit. At least that's the theory. Like, she will be able to do that stuff. So what I was told is that is something they were going to have a bunch of fun with, is kind of bringing these elements from older MKs in for the story and having characters face off with younger versions of themselves and that sort of shit. So,
the older Johnny, like in reference to young Johnny's, they're like, oh God, he's going to get us killed.
Yeah. Like, there's already, they've already rebooted the timeline and all this other stuff. So this is just them kind of like looping back around on the reboot and being like, that other timeline still happened, by the way.
Sure.
And now they're going to bring all that shit into, I guess, or whatever it ends up being.
Yeah.
But I love the musical transition in the trailer too, like an old 90s hip hop into more modern. It was really cool.
I feel like I wish the games, and maybe this one will finally be the one to do it, but I feel like they've been utilizing hip hop in Mortal Kombat trailers now for the last few, and the games never reflect it.
You're right.
Like even MK9 had that like EDM, like that dubstep, or not all dubstep, but it was like this EDM soundtrack that they put out separately. That was like music inspired by. It was like here's Skrillex doing Reptile. And like then the game didn't have any of that, and it was like, like maybe that would be cool.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
it's an avenue they can. And they seem to be leaning a little heavier into it.
Right.
This time,
so I wonder if this is the one that's going to
crossed.
have like a more like active soundtrack. Active is maybe not the word, but like
Speaking of missed opportunities, having a villain named Chronica and not getting some Dr. Dre in there feels,
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll get around to it.
Chronica and her best friend Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the
call me Smoke Dog.
Yep, that's right. As far as the state of play thing goes, I am super ready for this future of publishers just having streams to talk about
this
stuff.
is fun. And it was like in 20 minutes. Like,
it
was
very low impact. Everybody can carve out 20 or 30 minutes to watch a thing.
Sure.
Kind of depends on how often you do them, I guess.
Well,
I feel like Nintendo has done. They usually do really well at like when they have one of these things. They either telegraph up front, hey, it's not necessarily going to be this big deal, or it's a big fucking deal.
Hey, this one's going to be 7 minutes long.
Yeah. And Nintendo really is good at setting expectations for that stuff, where I feel like Microsoft has been kind of dicey with the Inside Xbox stuff.
Yeah.
And, Sony's just getting started. But
this did seem like, like this was a showcase of the other games, like the stuff that doesn't necessarily make a stage presence. And in that respect, like it wasn't like gangbusters, like it wasn't a big blockbuster.
It was like, hey, we got some stuff we want to show it to
some
you.
Other stuff.
Like, don't if you miss it, go back and watch it later. It's not don't carve out. Yeah.
I wonder if I assume they do something like this for E3. Presumably.
I mean, they probably do something like this instead of E3.
So that's what I mean, like timed around the event somehow, since they're not going to be there.
If I were them, I would go ahead of it.
That's what I meant, like the week before or something like that. But just when interest is peaking.
Sure.
EA has announced that they are laying off 350 people.
Oh, wow.
It's mostly out of publishing and marketing.
Jesus.
They're also closing down their presences in Japan and Russia. Does not sound like any development is affected, but
still, oh my God.
Yeah. EA and Japan has been like, I feel like that's been this hot and cold thing with them, where they've always felt this need to be like, well, we got to establish a bigger presence in Japan, and they do it, and it never really does anything. I mean, I guess I'm sure like FIFA probably does okay.
Yeah.
Right. But
probably. I don't know. Like, still one of the weirder or more kind of dissonant moments of my conference going career is going to TGS when they were showing off Medal of Honor Rising Sun, and having like Japanese ladies in like basically American service uniforms showing off this.
Wow.
That was a weird one.
That's
EA booths at TGS were always really weird. Microsoft kind of the same.
Kind of. Microsoft really leaned into anime, I feel like, at TGS, which did a lot for them.
I don't know. It didn't do a lot for them.
Or at least
you got the impression that they were trying, but it never.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not saying it sold Xboxes.
No, it did not.
But it made it sort of at least feel like they belonged there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kotaku got a hold of the email that Andrew Wilson sent to the company, which says, "We have a vision to be the world's greatest games company. If we're honest with ourselves, we're not there right now.
True.
We have work to do with our games, our player relationships, and our business."
Also true.
Yeah. So, then a lot more lip service about the cuts and reaching more platforms and improving our Frostbite tools and et cetera, et cetera. Cloud gaming priorities.
I feel like that was the line in that email that I read and went like, oh man, come on. Like, you need to actually fix the problem. Like, hey, we need to work on our Frostbite tools. It's like, if you took Frostbite out of that sentence and pivoted into a different direction, maybe your developers would, I don't know.
They really don't want to pay those royalties.
No.
So I really want to try out that Battlefield Battle Royale.
I guess that's out.
Did I see that thing is like,
It's like
what's it called?
Firestorm? I did not hear great things about it.
I've heard
anything
conflicting things. Yeah. I just want to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a Battle Royale expert.
Exactly.
To the
Yes.
Apex.
Is it expensive? I'm trying to find the price.
I think
it's a paid add-on, right?
I don't think it's
Or
a
am I
I think it's a free add-on. for
Maybe I'm
Battlefield.
mixing it up with a different add-on.
Yeah. I think all the Battlefield add-ons were free.
Okay, I must have misinterpreted something.
I don't own Battlefield, so there's one thing in the way, but
I'll let you use my
Shh,
Xbox
don't-
Live account
Don't let them know. That's illegal.
as long as I get all the achievements.
Okay.
It sounds like this was pretty well expected in the company. Kotaku talked to some people who basically said that, like, there's been some expectation of this since last October.
Hmm.
One of the quotes is, "I think some people will be relieved to not be in limbo anymore because people have just been expecting something like this to come down." So I think what did they say? Their full workforce is about 9,000 people. So it's about 350 out of that, and they spent a fair amount of time in their messaging talking about severance and trying to help people find new positions and stuff like that.
That's good.
No.
Still, a bummer.
Epic announced a bunch of new exclusives for their store
Now that's
last week.
epic.
Thank you.
Detroit Become Human for PC. Anyone?
No.
Heavy
No.
Rain?
No.
Beyond Two Souls?
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
Are they offering that in a bundle?
They didn't say.
Really?
I guess I could see something like that happening. But yeah, Quantic Dream is bringing Heavy Rain.
Can the Epic Store do bundles?
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know if they've
Check the
implemented-
Trello board.
Have they implemented that functionality yet? I don't know.
I want
Do
to
they
say
have like a
PS4's
public Trello
They
board?
totally do.
Oh, they really actually do?
They absolutely do. Yeah.
Oh man, I need to find that.
It's broken up into like, here's the near term stuff for
Yeah.
the next 1 to 3 months. Here's
Yeah.
the 3 yeah.
Well,
They've
that's
Here's
got
our
it.
sprint.
Totally.
I can
Yeah.
I can respect that kind of transparency.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, like that's the biggest knock against that. Or okay, it's not the biggest knock. This is what's one of the big knocks against that store is that it's just not
Lacking
very
features.
feature laden. So they're like, here's what we're thinking about doing.
Let's see, near term 1 to 3 months. Search by genre and tag.
Sure.
Store video hosting. Improvements to offline mode. Store page redesign. Cloud saves.
There you go.
Improvements to offline
Okay.
mode, parentheses, add offline
Yeah.
mode.
Okay, cloud saves in the next 3 months. That's cool. That's probably the biggest thing. Oh, user reviews. No. No.
I remember them being like pretty vocal about what do you guys want from user reviews? Like they're still figuring that
Well,
out.
I think the where they landed or the last stuff was like developers can opt to have them or not, and they have that level of control over their store page where they're just like, we don't want reviews, so whatever. And then
Valve
just had their
just-
thing recently,
yeah.
like updating it. Which they've made multiple changes to it, but yeah, I think the thing last week was like
it was like if
Hey,
we
we're-
detect that it's from
a period where a game was
campaign
where a
or
game was getting
something.
review bombed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, by the way, did you write a legit review during that review bomb period? Your review is also not counted because they
Yeah.
can't detect. They say they cannot detect legit reviews in that period. It's like,
I mean, maybe it's like I don't know. They probably
hey,
thought
maybe
of
there's
it,
something
but, like,
larger that's broken with user reviews than just like the review bombing thing. And
Yeah. No, Metacritic fixed it.
no,
Rotten Tomatoes doesn't let you review something unless it's out now. The problem solved, Jeff.
GiantBomb.com has been doing that for some time. I feel like that's The bare minimum you could do. God, that's their whole business too. How did they get this many years in without fucking implementing something that says like, oh, maybe we shouldn't let them review it until it's out?
Well, because it was cool. It was like, okay, well, we're gonna get all the people who think they're hot shit who get to see movies early. Like, obviously, okay, there's different tiers of people who get to see movies early. Obviously, there's like actors and the people involved. That's fine. They're not going to write user reviews.
No.
But then there's all the like wannabe critics who like know a guy or like have access to something where they can see a movie, and they want those people in because those are their
totally. But like
users.
that's the sort of thing. Wouldn't you be like, okay, we know when a screening happened,
You would think,
so we can open up reviews at that point? Because I feel like if your whole business is built around we're the movie review aggregators, but also they're the movie review aggregators.
Yeah.
So that's the main draw of the site. User reviews. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
In that specific case, where like they're running a site based on aggregating critical reviews, like at some point, because of the trouble it causes, I don't even know that I would have user
media
reviews
is
on
fake
those
news,
sites.
and you can only trust other humans.
Then that's on Amazon and every other website in the world.
Yeah.
You don't need that there.
You can only trust your fists.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Axel taught us.
And I have two fists out with no thumbs up, so I guess the movie's
geez.
bad.
Okay. No, well, the thumbs aren't down.
I mean, they're kind of down, like they're pointed
They're
down because
tucked.
they're in a.
Don't tuck them. You're gonna break your thumb. Don't do
Oh,
that.
so punch.
Oh,
I
jeez.
review on the old Hustler movie review scale.
I personally like the Chronicle guy getting out
the
of
recliner.
his.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
guy
Yeah,
getting
that's
hype out of his recliner.
All right. Yeah, so Quantic Dream is bringing Heavy Rain Beyond and Detroit to the Epic Store. Like, this is notable to me because that game company also did the same thing with Flower and Journey and
Yeah.
maybe one other one, or was it just those two?
I think it was just
Anyway, like that's two developers where previously they were console exclusive to Sony.
right.
So
Sony
now-
published those games.
Now they're
and
both coming to the Epic Store, so I don't know if that was like something about their contract with Sony that allowed them to do this,
right.
or it was just console exclusive or something, and then Epic is going after. I mean, I don't know. It's like kind of attention getting to me.
Yeah,
To
totally.
say,
It-
like Journey
yes.
in particular, like, hey, Journey's never been on PC, and now here it is,
Right.
on our store. Like that's kind of cool. Control, the new Remedy game.
Yeah.
Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey.
I'm sorry.
You heard me. Isn't that's Patrice Désilets' new
Oh,
game,
right. Okay, yes,
I'm pretty
yes.
sure. I'm 99% sure. After Party, the new game from the makers of Oxenfree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
They got some other stuff on here, like Dauntless, that
Yeah, the
the Monster Hunter-esque game that you've had your eye on is Epic Store. Jaeger's new game, The Cycle. The Sinking City, Spellbreak, which we played on UPF
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks ago. Solar Ash Kingdom, which is the new game from Heart Machine, the
Oh, wow.
Hyper Light Drifter developer.
Yep.
So, like, we're still locking up some games.
Huh.
Yeah.
So you got the
Reasonably
money
big
now.
names.
It's yeah. The exclusive stuff is
Essential. Like they need that to stand out.
yeah. It's like a shame in some ways,
Yeah,
but
that
also you see a lot of people trying to compare it to like console exclusives and that sort of exclusivity,
Mhm.
and it's like okay, it's just a different client that is
Right.
also free.
Right.
It's not the same thing as you have to buy an Xbox to play this game,
Like
or you have to buy a PlayStation to play this game. It is
Exactly.
not that at all.
They are competing
Yes.
for the same audience and who has the bigger share of it, but it's ultimately more consumer friendly because it is just which launcher do you launch?
Yeah. I don't know that I would go all the way to say it is actually consumer friendly, but is perhaps more consumer friendly than console exclusive.
I mean, there potentially are concerns about, like, who's getting your money and what they're doing with it
Sure.
and how they
yes.
are
Yeah. That's,
handling your data and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, those concerns are necessarily warranted in this case, especially to the extent that people
sure.
conspiracy
Yeah.
monger about the Epic Store in particular.
Yeah.
But like you could, there are other arguments besides, just having to manage multiple launchers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they reach a point, like a scale, where they're just like, okay, you can put it on our
Totally.
thing and other
This
stores.
just seems like a thing they're doing to ramp up and get people used to and get people using their store.
And
Like
you
that-
would eventually, presumably, they could just depend on their better revenue split to
Right.
get people to show up there.
Yep.
Yep. Apple
Speaking of revenue splits,
has announced a subscription service for games. called Apple Arcade.
Yeah,
Great.
They presented it as a very like developer friendly thing.
Yeah.
In terms of like, hey, these paid games don't break through on iOS because boy, the market got to be messy with free to play stuff. So no one wants to pay $3 for a game anymore.
I mean,
how broken is that?
Yeah, this
now
thing's
we're
gonna
fixing
be
it with
like-
a subscription service. Like,
It's going to be highly curated. The good stuff is going to float to the top. Essentially,
I can't believe they're fixing video games and magazines
and credit cards
and credit cards.
yeah.
All in one
And
fell
television.
And
What is up
TV.
with that credit card? I didn't watch that thing.
It's
like,
titanium.
But like, what is actually different about it?
It's titanium.
Okay,
You
and
can use
It's
it
got that logo
for
on it.
Apple.
can you get it like laser etched?
Yes.
Get your name on there?
Sure.
Yes,
man.
that's all that's on there. There's no credit card number on the card. That was one of their bullet points. Was like, there's no data on the card itself. That's all in the app. But I guess the idea I think with the credit card is that they are not charging late fees. They are giving you a deeper look into your finance, or like, hey, here's when the late charge, or here's when finance charges hit for these purchases.
Okay.
So pay it off ahead of that.
Seems a lot more transparent.
Yeah, and it's cashback. It's different percentages of cashback based on what you're buying. What is it? It's 3% cashback if you are buying Apple products. 2% on all your regular digital purchases with Apple Pay, and 1% if you have to use the card. If you have to use the physical card. And the idea is that stuff processes daily as opposed to monthly or annually, or some of the other cashback cards are not like all that forthcoming with the cash.
Right.
So they're like, oh, it's daily cash.
Huh.
Which, great, I get 3 cents today for the stuff I charge. Yeah.
I bought a new iPhone. I got $330.
Yeah.
2% on anything you Apple Pay?
Yeah.
That's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
That's decent.
Yeah, as far as like credit card stuff,
Yeah.
reward stuff goes, that's not the worst.
Yeah.
But tell me about this arcade. Who's coming there?
The way, well, we'll get to that, but the way they pitch this in the very first paragraph of their press release is kind of insane. Apple Arcade will give customers the freedom to try any game from its hand-picked collection of titles that are all you can play, have no ads, ad tracking, or additional purchases, and respect user privacy.
So that was
Like
the
they
thing.
have to come out and say all of that.
So I watched their whole presentation, and every step of the way, they really hammered on that privacy stuff.
Like this super reads
With
to
like,
me.
it was
just
like, we don't know what magazines you're reading in our
right.
digital magazine service. We don't know what television shows you're watching. We don't care.
Like this all reads to me as just like they're just like, fucking, did you see Zuckerberg on the Hill?
Totally.
Like we are going to get called in front of Congress if we don't do this right.
Well, also it's a differentiator, right? Like
Yeah.
that message resonates in a way that you're like, oh, they actually care about this shit. No one else fucking does.
Apple's always been one of the companies that has generally not cared as much about info as some of the other big tech companies, and so this was something that's easy for them to do. Easy for them to say.
It's like something they're already doing / not doing,
and now they can brag
hammer
about
on
it. It's a talking point that I'm
Totally.
sure their
Okay.
market research has like figured out. People are really
Hey,
mad about
If this-
privacy.
I mean, if this reads as genuine to you guys, that is a better situation than like it kind of came off as a little pandering
That's
to
the thing.
me.
It's like whether it reads as genuine or not, I think is up to the individual.
Right,
You know, like how much you trust Apple with your data compared to other I think for me personally, I would trust Apple with it more than I would trust Google
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah. You know what? Actually, I was just reminded of that.
or Facebook. You know, like
It's more genuine to me, but it's more upsetting that it's a
Totally, yes.
I was just reminded of that iMessage situation they got into a few years ago with the FBI,
Oh, yeah.
and they kind of stood their ground on that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess they do have a better track record than some of this stuff.
I know that Jada Pinkett Smith was stoked when they mentioned that there was going to be no privacy issues.
Yeah.
That's great.
Perfect.
She clapped.
Yeah.
She clapped.
So they say the games on this are exclusive. The one thing I was not able to figure out for sure is, if you don't subscribe to this, could you just buy one of these games for money?
I don't know.
or do you have to subscribe to get them? Like they will not be for individual sale.
That I don't know.
I could not find that.
Yeah.
Because they're throwing some names around.
And and they're like showing games that are already on PC and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I mean on their platform. Like,
Yeah.
can you buy one of these games on iOS if you don't subscribe? They don't come out and say that.
I guess I would have assumed so, but I don't know.
But they throw out names like Will Wright, Hironobu Sakaguchi, who created Final Fantasy.
And they showed some of his games.
Yeah, they list Mistwalker, which is his studio on this list.
They showed a little bit of that game. Which neat.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. Some of these games, like they've got the Pathless from Annapurna, but that is definitely, I'm pretty sure, also a PC game.
And Overland. Overland? Is that the name of that game, right?
Overland.
Outland.
These energy crystals. If you get enough of them, you can get it.
I have a short list of some of the games they've announced. But
Yeah,
I don't see that on here.
Yes, Overland was, Finji's Overland.
Okay, yes,
Sure,
I
a
did
little
see
bit of that,
Finji
yes.
on the list of companies. Hot Lava is a game from Clay that's going to be on there. Looks like that is also a PC game. So yeah, some of these games on other platforms, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I just don't know what they mean by exclusive in that specific case.
Yeah, that's a little vague. They've got Lego Brawls from Lego. They've got Sonic. They've got Sonic Racing.
Oh yeah.
I wish they had announced pricing. Like, there's a lot of companies on this list, like Devolver, Disney, Cartoon Network, Platinum Games. Like,
And there's an aspect of
names.
this of just like, okay, when do these games come and go? Do they go?
yeah,
Is it always growing? Are games getting removed from the service?
yeah.
The other thing was that they're saying these games will be playable across iOS, Apple TV devices, and Mac.
Huh.
So
Interesting. Okay.
is that a hard, you must ship on all simultaneously sort of requirement? Or is that, hey, if there is a Mac version of this game, which eventually it'll be one, will it automatically have to be day and date and all that other stuff?
Right. I would just love to know what this is going to cost.
$10
A month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
That's
the
my
most.
guess.
That is the most I would pay for something
Yeah.
like this.
I feel like because they didn't get into the pricing around their TV stuff either, but the magazine stuff was $10 a month.
Mm-hmm.
How many
Wow.
$10 a month
Oh, is
services?
that what their
are-
magazine thing is? It's also all you
Yeah.
can eat
Yeah.
kind of
Mhm.
buffet of magazines.
Yes, magazine buffet.
Apple
It's like-
News Plus.
They should have called it "You're in your doctor's waiting room," but it's your phone. All these
Sure.
magazines are here, and you can just read them.
So wait, are they actually going to fund publications with that? It's not just like
publications will get.
But what I mean is, it's not just like, hey, Condé Nast, put all your existing shit on here. It's like, hey, we want to support new.
They gave some lip service to like,
Public-
hey, journalism's important.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Like, if they were
I
looking to-
think and I guess this is a concern if the gaming stuff goes this way. But my understanding is that the payouts on the Apple News Plus stuff is like, how much are people reading your publication compared to others, and so you get this amount of money based on time spent. If time spent and hours spent becomes the way developers get paid for games, anyone making a short game just gets fucked.
Yeah. I just had a brief moment of panic about that magazine stuff. We're like sitting here treating corporate patronage of journalism as a good thing.
Someone's got to
Someone, yeah.
patronize them.
But I guess that's where we are.
Well, like compare that to whatever. I was gonna say compare that to like Facebook saying we wanted to start a local journalism thing but couldn't find enough of it.
Yeah.
Or we can't afford to hire
it's like,
editors.
maybe you guys should fucking put some money back into it then, considering you're part of the reason why it all got fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they fired all of their news editors.
Anyway. Yeah, this potentially sounds pretty appealing to me, honestly. Like, I just don't have the patience to sift through. I mean, they say there are 300,000 games on the App Store now.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't have the attention span to keep up with that stuff. Like, occasionally I'll, hear you guys talking about, like, oh, so-and-so is the hot game. And it's like, okay, I'll check that out. But
Right.
having a thing that's just like, hey, here are the games we think are good or that we, in some cases, have paid for.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we think they're good. But at least having just an offering of, like, here's some stuff you can just try.
Yeah,
Like-
but like the App Store is already full of games you can just try because most of them are
yeah.
free.
Well, yeah, but then you get
So-
into, like, what the experience is like when
Yeah.
you do try it and, like, how...
I feel like my
exploitative that feels.
current method of other people saying, "Yo, you need to try this game," and then I buy it for $3 works great.
Sure. And, probably is cheaper than paying $10 a month for
Yep.
whatever.
Yes.
Especially because a lot of the phone games I like will like keep me entertained for a month.
Yeah.
It's like something I want to play for a total of maybe 90 minutes a day max on my commute.
That's the thing.
I feel like
is,
that's the ideal in a lot of cases where I feel like a lot of the games that I'm paying money to buy, like they aren't necessarily making it a full month.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like it's a lot of that stuff is broken, and this seems like a cool attempt. And we'll see how it goes.
I think
I
it's-
wonder what the payouts are. I wonder like,
Sure.
are developers going to do okay with this, or is
Yeah.
it just going to be another like Spotify situation?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the curation aspect is the appealing thing to me of just like, I don't care enough about phone games to research them a lot. So like the idea that they're just pushing stuff they think is good could be cool.
Yeah, I mean, between this and Stadia, there's a lot of uncertainty about where the future of games is headed.
I believe this is later this year.
Yeah.
Sometime this year.
Yeah, I was a little underwhelmed with like the lack of hard detail around some of the others. Like, they got into all their TV shit and they were like, we'll talk more later. I'm like, okay, well, okay, why are we here?
New Oculus coming out. New Rift. The Rift S.
Yeah.
Which is now made by Lenovo.
The Rifts.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. They also make my VR headset, the Windows mixed reality thing I bought.
Right.
So they've got experience making VR headsets.
And it's an inside-out tracking.
Yes.
So no more...
Excuse me, Oculus Insight, please.
Whatever.
They branded their inside-out tracking.
Good on them.
Also, aren't they the last ones to market with it? Or no?
Vive doesn't.
Vive doesn't.
do it.
Vive Pro still doesn't have it?
No.
$1,200 headset still does not have its own tracking.
Well, the inside-out tracking, generally speaking, like is not as good.
Yeah.
It's not as
pretty
accurate.
good, though.
It's good enough.
Speaking of somebody who has a cheap headset that has it, it's good enough for sure. For me, at least.
But yeah, Vive, if anything, I think has positioned themselves as the premium experience.
Yeah.
So at some point you're like, hang the things on your wall, dipshit. Yeah. Like, all
If
right,
you really care about this, devote a room in your house to it.
Yeah. I'm torn because like so it's higher resolution.
Yeah.
The screens are it's not AMOLED screens anymore.
Yeah, they're also lower refresh rate.
Yes.
They went from 90 to 80 hertz.
Really?
Yeah.
So
so there
arguably a trade-off on the screen.
Definitely. It feels like a real trade-off.
Yeah.
But like a convenience-focused one.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have those stupid cameras, sensors hooked up anymore.
Yeah.
I don't use the headset enough to justify leaving them set up all the time.
Yeah.
But the minute you bump one of them, you have to reconfigure everything.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Again, like that headset I have was $200. I mean, it was on a big sale, but like the thing is one HDMI and one USB. That's it.
Yeah.
Plug those in.
So is this.
And it just goes.
Yeah. And
it's pretty nice.
You kind of can't argue with that at past a certain point for like mainstream, for like a wider appeal.
Yeah.
Of just like, hey, you don't have to hook this up and position this just so. And, I got my microphone arm up high and, that the camera is getting blocked by the mic arm. So I got to swivel this down and configure this. And if I get too close, the desk is too close so they can't see me anymore. Like that stuff just fucking sucks.
Yep.
In a tighter space. Like, if you have some fucking warehouse or some office you're converting into VR space, of course.
Yeah.
Set up all the sensors. Who cares? But man, that stuff fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, that keeps me away from more VR stuff than anything else. Is like,
totally.
The amount of work I'd have to dust these sensors off and position them just so, and then I have to recalibrate because a cat bumped one of them. And, it's fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Yeah, having a headset you just plug in and it works 10 seconds later is pretty nice.
Yeah, so
that is a big deal.
So I think the screen stuff and the low refresh rate, that stuff sucks.
Yeah.
But at this point, I would probably use that headset more than the one I've got now.
Yeah. That's kind of the big stuff. The not strap, but the kind of head gear is changing. It's going to be more like PlayStation VR, like a Halo strap. I think is how they refer to it.
Wait, Halo for VR Halo?
Wow.
That's right.
That was a good get.
Hokey smokes.
Yep. What else? The interesting thing about this is it's the same price as the Quest, which is the all-in-one, like phone guts in a headset, kind of freestanding headset thing.
Okay.
They're both $399. So you're either getting a totally untethered VR headset that you can just kind of go anywhere with, or you're getting for the same price a slightly improved version of the Rift that hooks up to a PC, and they both use the same touch controllers now.
Right. Yes.
So
really,
and they're saying like one game you buy on our platform will work on both.
If it's on both.
Yeah. If it is on both, you buy it once and it works. Like they're definitely trying to kind of establish a platform here. It's an okay upgrade. It's not like mind blowing, but
feels pretty sideways. Upgrade doesn't even feel like the right word here. Just because there's enough trade-offs to where it's like, okay, I see the appeal, and like honestly, I almost want to get one just for the convenience factor of not having to set that crap up.
Yep. That alone is worth it.
I would use that headset more than the one that I have not touched in months.
I think I would too.
Like I stopped all the Oculus services on my PC
nice.
and just like unplugged all the sensors and stuff. I was like, fuck it, man. Like it's not.
I haven't touched mine in months either.
Yeah.
even without the sensors.
Yeah. That's maybe the other thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Polybius is out.
Yeah.
You don't need. We're
So,
done.
Yeah.
The ultimate VR game already exists.
VR is over.
Our game of the year was a VR game too.
Yeah. That I mostly played out of VR.
All right. I guess we could have mentioned this earlier, but I saved it for last. They've announced that Shang Tsung is going to be the first DLC character for Mortal Kombat 11, played by Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa.
That's
Hell
cool.
yeah.
That's cool.
I was so excited to see this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a cool.
Is it too on the nose?
No, like
That
if
is-
anything, it's like I feel like they don't necessarily reference those movies very much.
Well, I don't know that the second one needs to be referenced at all.
oh, I would love to.
To be fair,
Armageddon.
Yeah. No, Annihilation.
Annihilation. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh God, I turned it off halfway through. I've never seen the second
It's
half.
a poor film.
It's bad.
It's a poor. The first one's
all right.
one's good.
Saw the first one in the theater
all right.
at the time.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Johnny Cage punches Goro in the balls.
There was
Yeah.
a fair
Totally
amount of
did.
hype around that movie when it came out.
There's a friendship
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, fuck.
Yeah,
But that song is so dumb.
it is. But it's good dumb.
Speaking of, you remember? I remembered yesterday. You know what was a movie that came out? That Chun-Li movie. Remember that?
I did see
Remember that?
Yeah.
Vega was played by fucking what's his name? Apple the App. Or was it the other
Yeah.
guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Taboo. Yeah.
Taboo.
Wow.
That's
Saw
a
that
good.
in the
That's an
drive-in.
inspired choice for a Vega.
I
Like,
mean,
you think,
yeah,
like,
it's
okay,
like kind of perfect, but
Yeah.
also the most insane thing.
I had completely forgotten that came out, huh?
That came out like 2007.
Okay. All right.
Saw it at a drive-in. I remember
That seems like
nothing
a
from that.
great place to see it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to revisit it.
That seems like the sort of film that would have a too long shower sequence in it, just like the anime.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Chris
But
Klein
the
was in that
taboo.
movie.
What?
Chris Klein was
Is he
Charlie
Guile?
Nash.
Okay, nah.
Oh,
Okay.
that.
Oh, shit. Forgot that.
We should watch that.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to.
Yeah, just for people that don't know, Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa played Shang Tsung in the 1995 movie.
Also
And
the
he is-
grandpa from Johnny Tsunami.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Bono.
So
He's
yeah,
he's the guy. What said your soul is
that's
mine.
right. That's like they've got his likeness and performance capture and voice and everything. But yes, he does not say your soul is mine in the footage they put out.
You don't. Yeah, because
I
You
have
put-
to
you
assume-
don't
you
put
gotta
him in
pay.
there without. Oh.
I assume that's like got to be attached to a fatality or something. Oh yeah, I would hope.
Or maybe he says, your soul, and then just turns to the camera and winks.
yeah.
He's like, you know.
Well, they've got equipable quips.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For like you have multiple intros.
Yeah, like Apex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. So maybe it's one of those.
Equips.
Go to my page on IMDb and boost my star rating.
He does ham it up in the footage that I saw.
Good.
It's quite good. All right.
Even if he's the first DLC, he'll probably be in the game at launch because he hosts the
Yes.
Crypt.
Oh, sure.
That's great.
So have they announced the full roster then?
Great news.
No, there was
DLC
there was
characters?
a leak,
Oh.
but I don't think they've necessarily. I feel like the announcements have matched up with the leaked roster
Yeah.
pretty well so far.
Name a better duo than fighting game roster leaks
Yeah.
and fighting games.
All right. Can the bladders in the room withstand a transition to emails?
Not sure.
No.
Not sure.
All right. Running a little long here, but we'll take a quick
All right.
break and then we'll come right back. Emails. Let's read them while we still can.
Because they're
Bombcast at giantbomb.com.
Emails are going away.
oh, thank God.
Didn't you hear? Google is shutting down emails.
Oh, shit. You reminded me. I got
all-
to change my email.
Emails are going away forever.
Great.
What is Google Inbox? I have no idea. I see people panicking
It's
about it.
it's my
Is it
email.
just an
client.
It was a better
Is it
client.
just
it was
an
a better
app? It's
Gmail
just a client. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to be on a wait list to get on it.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
Really?
And now I can't
I never.
wait to get off.
Don't they also have an app called Gmail?
yes.
Yes,
Interesting.
but this was better.
I never messed
And
with
then
it
they're like,
'cause
"Hey, we made Gmail better. We put all the stuff you like from Inbox into it."
And it's like, no, not really.
It's not
Yeah.
no, not really. B, then just make Inbox the thing if people like it more.
Yeah.
our work email is so locked down that apps are useless.
They never
Guaranteed.
they never enabled inbox use on because there was a web client also.
Oh,
I ran into a fucking Black Mirror of a time yesterday when my phone wasn't working and I couldn't get into like 6 different things because of 2-factor authentication.
Oh, it's a horrible feeling, isn't it?
Holy shit. I felt like I was just disconnected from reality.
Oh, that sounds great.
Except I had to do
for like
things.
banking, yeah.
Except
Can't you...
Just not do anything?
Yeah. That's what I ended up having
Can't
to
you
do.
just- that's great.
Isn't that what recovery codes are for?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like you
Generate
generate a
recovery
recovery
codes.
code for when your device
Was it
catches
like-
on fire or
You better hope you never permanently lose that thing. Then.
I don't know anything about these recovery codes.
Right.
You should.
it's usually service specific where you'd be like, here's some numbers you need to keep extra secure because it's the thing you can use
right.
if
It's
you
the
lose
thing you
your
punch
thing.
in if you lose your
Yes.
thing.
Well, we don't have one of those for work.
Yeah, you're probably right.
All right. Emails.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yes.
dun, dun.
Email from Vaughn. The genie grants you the power to have all the special abilities of one fighting game character of your choice. However, you can't use your newfound skills for actual fighting.
What?
Whose skills do you pick for making day-to-day life a little bit easier?
Okay.
E Honda, so I can press all these buttons super fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
E Honda, so I can dunk 100 nuggets at the same
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Not to remain on the Shang Tsung tip, but being
Yeah.
able to look like anybody would probably be pretty useful.
That was my go-to.
Although-
is it anybody or is it any Mortal Kombat character?
Ooh,
That
that
would
would be less.
both good.
Because that's cool,
Yeah.
but like less useful.
I mean, my question is, are your morphs limited to 15 seconds, or can you actually
Yeah.
maintain them permanently?
I'm going
Yeah,
to
I
assume
wonder.
it sticks to the rules of the game.
Oh, okay. If you can only change for 15 seconds, that's not so good.
Yeah.
I would probably maybe say reptile, real long tongue.
Yeah, that could-
can turn invisible.
Also handy.
Prehensile tongue,
Yeah.
pick up things with it.
Yeah. I mean, having stretchy limbs like Dulcim seems pretty cool.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good one.
okay.
Breathe
Sure.
fire briefly too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think anyone who could breathe fire was
You
good.
can breathe fire right
Well,
now.
Dulcim.
We can go do it.
No,
Probably
but then
a
you
bar
need a
up the
match.
street.
Well, he can do it without a match.
I'm going to say guile so I can maintain that hair.
Ooh, that is a super
Goku would be a good choice. He doesn't need haircuts.
I guess he counts as a fighting game character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario.
It's like fix a sink.
I could grow large and fix a sink.
You already are.
What?
Are you sure you're not Mario?
Oh, fuck.
Rich in Japan. I was listening to
That'd be
That's
great.
what I would want to be.
Yeah. Seriously. So much I would buy.
I was listening to an old Bombcast where Jeff was talking about the Domino's Pizza in Petaluma shutting down.
Yeah.
He said that after this, he got a note
Good.
on his doorstep from someone who worked at Domino's and was letting him know that they were now working at Extreme Pizza.
That's true.
Did Jeff ever get pizza from there? If so, did he continue to tip well? I gotta know.
I didn't much care for the actual. I think what the actual end of that story is that another Domino's opened up, and I think that person went to go work there. So
Extreme Pizza's
Yeah,
subpar.
no offense to Extreme and their fans, but I'm not a fan.
They make a great Caesar salad.
well,
I'll say that much.
extreme Caesar salad just doesn't.
Doesn't
The
roll off the
phone's not
tongue.
ringing off the hook.
No.
Have not been super impressed.
It's more than words.
Kiefer from New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo has Mario. PlayStation has Crash Bandicoot. That's debatable.
Yeah.
Xbox has the Master Chief. What or who would be the new poster child for Google Stadia?
That old dinosaur you run with the jumping and the
Oh, totally.
offline mode.
Yeah, sure.
A guy
Yeah.
dressed up like a little criminal rifling through your file cabinets.
Oh boy.
Some YouTuber.
It's just
What's
Yeah,
up, guys?
it was the guy that was on the presentation.
Yeah.
That dude.
Oh, no.
What's up, guys?
Oh no.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys?
All right. Well, on a related note,
Mhm.
Dave from San Francisco.
Dave!
Nobody mentioned this back during the Xbox One launch, and now with a new gaming platform being presented to the public by Phil Harrison, I wonder if you bombers have noticed a trend yet.
Yeah.
Phil Harrison is the kiss of death for any type of video game related launch. It all started when he helped to unsuccessfully launch the PlayStation 3. After that, he moved on to Infogrames, where he helped them transition into becoming Atari.
Way
I
to
don't think
go.
I have to explain how that didn't help anyone. He then went to Gaikai, where he was on hand for the unsuccessful 2011 launch of their OnLive-like service. Noticing a trend yet? He joined Microsoft soon after, where he was once again able to fail at launching something, this time the Xbox One. Now, as a VP and general manager at Google, he's here to tell us all about the Stadia. Don't get me wrong, there's an argument to be made that all of these things eventually found success, but there's no doubt their launches weren't exactly sensational. I don't think I've ever seen a single person fail at launching products as much as Phil Harrison, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. There's a couple more sentences that maybe are a little pointed, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, implying that Phil Harrison is solely launching these things.
Yes.
Right.
And
Well,
it's not
you know what he
he's
actually-
not, he did not make 100% of the decisions that
Yes.
led to the Xbox One.
Yes, he happens to be the guy out on stage pitching them.
But also, he was involved in some. So
Yeah.
that may be, someone pointed that out last week, and it may be, I think, codified some of my unease around the Google stuff.
yeah.
Was he's the guy. Like, there are quotes from interviews where he's the guy saying, "We will never sell an Xbox One without a Kinect."
Yeah.
He's the guy that was out there saying all of these PS3 demos were real time.
Was that from the Killzone 2 year?
Yes.
Really?
Like,
Man,
he was
that guy?
he was out there at that point saying stuff like that,
Man.
right? So, credibility wise,
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk
You
about the pass fail of the products and,
Yeah.
and whatever, because I think that's a larger thing. But
Yeah.
I feel like in terms of like stuff he has said in the press, and now here we are again. Yeah, I get it.
Like the Kinect thing is a business pivot. Like, that's changing strategy. Like,
Totally.
you can allow for some of that, but
Yeah.
the PS3 thing is just a blatant lie.
Like,
Those were not real games.
it's a complicated. It's complicated all around. But yeah, I think for me the thing that, like, sitting and thinking about the Stadia stuff a little bit more, I think the big part of why I think their pitch sounds so bad is because they had the guy that was like the head of all Google, right? Was that the dude they had out up front?
So let me double
Having him
check.
get out there and go, like, I don't know, games, whatever. Technology's my
that's-
thing.
yes, he is-
like
he is the CEO of Google.
Having him come out and just be like, I don't really give a fuck about games, but technology is important and games are a part of that.
Baseball.
Right. Also,
Oh yeah.
I feel like that just paints the whole service as something that they are not passionate about.
Yeah.
They and whatever business
They
should
find
be
it would be like a
dispassionate.
fascinating way to use
right.
their resources.
Yeah, they're like, okay, this is another way that we can help push our technology base forward by getting better at this sort of stuff and whatever. Like, it just feels like, it makes it feel like another service that Google would not give a fuck about killing someday. And like Inbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw somebody drafted like a letter from the future of them their announcement of canceling
Yeah.
Stadia, and it looked just like it could have been for
Sure,
Inbox.
right? Yeah, it's so I feel like Google just has a really weird track record with that, with all of it, and getting out there up front and pitching your thing to developers, because it's it's GDC, but pitching it to developers as we don't really care. We got I got people working for me that they give a shit, I guess, but whatever, man. Here's what I care about. Like, it's just like, dude, fuck that. Why would anyone want to work with them if that's their attitude about it? And I think as a user, they didn't say enough about the business around how you will get the games, and will it be only a subscription service? Do you buy the games? Like, the implication felt like you would buy the games.
Yeah.
But if you have to pay a subscription service on top of buying the games, I feel like that shut it down now.
Yeah.
So I look at it as like, okay, I'm going to buy games on a streaming only platform with Google, a company that is really good at shutting shit down. I'm not going to let you sunset my game library on me. Like, that's not like, oh, some old man preservationist bullshit. That's just like, Google's got a really shit track record with this stuff.
Yeah.
So unless they're like, hey, you also get it on Steam, hey, here's a dual purchasing way where you're getting like, hey, you can play it here if you have the horsepower. I think that's where Microsoft's approach will end up feeling very different, at least out of the gate, is because they are probably going to have their pitch is probably going to be more like, hey, yes, you can stream this, also run it locally. And I think that sort of choice will be the big thing that will help ease people into the concept of a streaming service.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
And if Google's not doing that, and it's just, here's this streaming thing that we can shut down anytime we feel like it's not to our benefit to run it anymore, no thanks. Like, that doesn't seem. I don't think they have the credibility to do it at this point. And
That
they
is
know
a
they
valid
still,
concern.
Yeah, they still have more of their story to tell, right? So they'll be back at E3 with more stuff. But I think with what they said at GDC, like having had some time to like think about it all, like I think that's why I don't feel good about it.
I've been buzzed before.
Hmm.
Been plussed before.
Yeah.
They've been waived before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think Google Plus shuts down till April 2nd, so
That's
you
right.
got a little bit of time.
Yeah,
Get
that's
in
true.
there.
That's true.
A little bit.
You want to be in my circle?
Yeah, can we?
Yeah.
Cool.
I had a technology class once, and the teacher demanded that we turn in all our homework through Google Plus.
What?
We had to share it with him in our circle.
Now that's technology.
Okay. Email from Dean
So
about Boston, Austin, and Moston.
Okay.
As a resident Mancunian, it's a resident of Manchester, I can assure you that Moston is in fact not nice this time of year and that the bugs aren't the biggest concern, but rather the rampant crime rate.
Oh, well, you're from Manchester. Of course you're going to say that.
No one should, in any circumstances, open a game development studio in Moston. It is home to such flavorful crime stories as 6 crimes on the same property in 2 weeks and most dangerous street in Manchester.
ooh, damn.
Please do not come here. Do not send help. Leave us in our purgatory.
Okay.
That's just color. You know, that's just
you want a little
flavor.
bit of that. Yeah.
That helps keep you
Grounded. You want to make games amongst the people.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited to announce my new studio, Benpack Enterprise, opening up in Daytona, Florida.
Nice. We're opening Knife Crime Games in Boston. I'm pretty excited about it.
Rent is pretty cheap there.
Yeah.
Dom from LA. Why did Sekiro come to Steam but not Battle.net? It's an Activision published game, so it seems a bit odd that it came to Steam with Activision's recent trend of using Battle.net for their games. I would assume it's just a standard publishing deal because like Destiny,
Yeah.
they had an ownership stake in Destiny
Right.
and
That-
probably
that-
had the leverage to force that.
It's probably something like that.
Whereas this is just them publishing a game.
Yeah.
I wonder if they own the Sekiro IP
Hmm.
or not. Because like
I feel like if they were going to push like with IP that they owned, that
it
it
would
would have
be-
been Tenchu.
they do own that name.
I believe that they
Huh.
fully own
Okay.
Tenchu these days.
Namco owns the Dark Souls property, right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
Sony owns Demon's Souls, right?
Think and Bloodborne.
And
Yeah.
Bloodborne.
Is that right?
It's all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah, I
Wow.
wonder what happened with this. I wonder if From has control of this or not. But I guess that would be my guess.
Yeah.
Casey from Cincinnati. There is a hive mind version of Tetris played via Twitter polls called Emoji Tetra. Please share this with people who understand how Tetris works, because the lunatics that follow this account keep voting for the most boneheaded drops.
What does that mean?
What? It is a slow motion game of Tetris played on this account where they poll every move.
What?
Emoji Tetra is the name of the account.
Okay.
Did you look this up?
Yeah, I looked at it. It's
Yeah?
just every tweet is the next drop or the next space
Huh.
in the Tetris game.
How do you flip?
Right.
I assume that's part of the poll.
You just vote for Flip.
You guys should go.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think to check how many people are playing this.
How many votes do the polls get?
Let's go see how many votes we've got on these.
We got a new one with only 23 votes.
Oh wow.
All right.
Okay.
Getting on the ground floor.
Yeah. Well, that was posted 1 minute ago. About 300 votes on the one 20 minutes ago.
How do you do a T-spin?
Just click the T-spin vote. Like, drop
I'm
it.
going to always vote for T-spin. It's
drop
the
it
most
good.
points.
I mean, you've got like 20 minutes to set it up. So
Wow.
Trust me, everyone, I need you to vote. This is going to sound counterintuitive, but I need to put this piece over here. It's fucked up, but it'll be cool.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
question from Ryan: what was the point of announcing Cyberpunk 2077 in 2012?
Yeah, it's a far time away.
They had a good song to
Yeah.
pair it with.
They just couldn't help themselves.
How long was like Witcher 3's like announcement to release? It
I don't-
seemed like it was similarly.
Maybe, but I mean, they've obviously done other Witcher
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
People already knew they had that property. I would
Right.
assume in this case, I mean, like Cyberpunk is a big role-playing name.
Right.
It's just like, hey, they got this deal done. Like, that's going to come out one way or another.
Yeah.
Let's just, as soon as we've signed this, let's go ahead and come out and say, hey, we're going to make a Cyberpunk game.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they built some excitement around the game for sure, and you could argue that maybe the longer it goes, that excitement kind of wanes. But they're just one more trailer away from reminding everyone, hey, this thing's still coming.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I think I tend to. I like the idea of the like, hey, we're announcing this game that's coming out in 3 months.
Yeah.
Or something like that. The really tight campaign. I think that's cool. But I don't know. I don't think that games necessarily get harmed by long ones either.
Certainly not, judging by the excitement at last E3.
Yeah.
Unless it's a smaller title, then it's like, just release this damn thing already.
Yeah.
Or if you've got zombies in it.
Then just don't release it at all.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Kill your zombie game.
Sorry, Days Gone.
Christopher writes in, on this week's Jablinski Games, Jack Black claimed that Twilight Zone was the best pinball machine ever. Do you agree, or is there a better machine out there?
It's really good.
Yeah.
Jack Black has good pinball opinions.
Twilight Zone is a tremendous pinball machine.
Opinions?
Nope, sorry.
That didn't work.
Is it the best?
You can make a case for that. I don't know. I might say Theater Magic.
Okay.
It's not neither of those are my favorite, but if we're saying best,
Where do you put Black Knight?
I think Black Knight. I think both those games just have a few more fun features and weird things on the table that Black Knight and Black Knight 2000 kind of can't compete with. But Black Knight 2000 is a classic. I'd probably rank it higher.
I got really into the Dirty Harry pinball. Is that considered to be a good one?
It's not
No?
especially like it's fun. Does that have the gun
It
on it?
does have the
Yeah,
gun on
has
it.
the gun on it.
Oh,
I
That's
like
cool.
the gun. And when you shoot at the beginning, you there's a thing and you can shoot it into a
Right.
thing,
Terminator
for bonus
2.
points.
Terminator 2 did that so
Oh,
better.
which is right next to it. I
Yeah.
should have played that one instead.
I had a really good run on a Super Mario Brothers pinball table once. That was really fun.
I'd say Addams Family and Attack from Mars,
Attack from Mars.
are my two go-tos.
Medieval Madness is probably up there too. I feel like that was like there's like that wide period of like, hey, this is kind of like golden age type stuff. But like Addams Family, Twilight Zone, I feel like those are number one, number two in a lot of people's heads.
Is the Twilight Zone table based around the Tower of Terror stuff, or am I dreaming that up?
I don't know
Or is
enough
it
about.
more just based on the show?
I think it's more just based on the show.
Okay. The channel's weird. I don't know if you guys have watched it or not.
Yeah, it's great.
He did a Crash Bandicoot Let's Play from what I think was his trailer on the set of Jumanji 3
Okay.
in costume, like on break.
All right.
It's a weird thing.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I love Jack Black.
Remember Jack Black?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Jackal?
No.
He builds the gun.
Black Jackal?
that Bruce Willis uses.
You ever watch
Gets killed?
Goosebumps?
No.
He's
One
in
or
it.
two.
All right.
One.
Oh.
He is not in two.
He's not
Or
in two.
maybe he is. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know anything about two.
Frantic email from Eric.
We can help.
I have received dire news from whom I can only assume is Yves Guillemot himself. My UB Club units are expiring on April 1st in what I desperately hope is just a garish April Fool's joke. Now, I don't know what exactly a UB Club unit is. However, how I ever earned any, or what, for that matter, I can even spend them on.
Just from playing games, man.
But nevertheless, I apparently have 400 of them and need help with a Brewster's Millions-esque scheme to spend them all before the 1st. Help me, Bombcast, I beg of you.
Get the Division 2. You can get gear packs.
Yeah, I think those are single
weapon
purchase.
skins.
Though.
They
are,
You can't just buy them
No.
over and over, unfortunately.
Not over and over. But
Like a
this will
gun
help.
Skin. Yeah.
Is 400 points enough for a game? Is that a
No,
lot?
you
Okay.
cannot get games with it.
No.
Which makes me wonder if they're going to do something different with the service
Oh,
to
you
where
think that's
like they have to expire these points because they're about to mean more.
Yeah.
like maybe you can start getting discounts
Yeah.
on games that you buy from the Uplay store and
No.
not
Maybe.
the
I want them
different
to
ones.
flow like water and just give me like ridiculously dumb shit in
Well,
game.
that's what they've been doing.
I know. I
have
love
been-
it.
Yeah.
I have been staring at this situation for a good long while because I have almost 1,200 of them myself.
Holy man.
Yeah. I have a lot that are.
I spend them as soon as I get them.
10 years worth of Uplay points. I got to do something.
I
with.
definitely I feel like every new Ubisoft game that comes out, I launch that thing, buy all of the
Yep.
obvious stuff, and then
I always forget the wallpapers.
yeah.
I don't need those.
Don't need that crap.
I don't need the
I
avatars.
want the soundtrack. None of that stuff.
Don't need that.
Because it's never the soundtrack. It's like, it's a selection of the soundtrack.
I bought weapon skins.
I bought an MP3 of the Toy Soldier. Which Toy Soldiers was it? The I can't remember.
Marchikas.
Yeah.
I bought the menu music in MP3 from that game, and the music is fantastic. It's the best thing I ever spent Uplay points on.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's always like, here's
here's
a skin for a gun. And
here's a social media pack.
No, thank you.
No.
Graphics.
Skip those.
Spend those points. Get some gun skins.
But I feel like that's been my process with every new Ubisoft game is to open that thing up, buy all the shit, and I still have a bunch of points expiring.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like and granted, I've earned them across multiple versions of a game and reviewing 3 versions of the same Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
I think they unified that stuff at some point at least, because I think I bought all the Division stuff and it was unlocked on both PC and PS4.
I think you're right.
I think I have like 30 left.
Nice.
I buy a lot of shit.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let them go to
some
waste.
of them are decent. Like
totally. Like there was a really good gun in Far Cry 3.
They're exclusive guns or costumes or there's some valuable stuff in there. Let's see.
That's the thing. If you're not actively playing a Ubisoft game or about to be actively playing a Ubisoft game, let them expire because they're not. They're only useful if you're going to be playing that game.
It's 10 years of my life.
And you usually want them at the very beginning because it's always like, here's a credit pack to get started. That late game, if you're like, oh, here's 40 credits, you're like, this is fucking useless.
Whatevs.
Yeah.
I'll make this the last email.
All right.
Signed Chuck Nasty.
My man Chuck Nasty.
My wife and I live in a fairly large apartment complex with a shared laundry space and have recently noticed some weird stuff.
Now that's nasty.
Coming down to change our clothes from the washer to the dryer, we have noticed our clothes having been dumped on the floor.
Now that's nasty.
Or into our laundry hamper, or even into a stranger's laundry hamper still soaking wet.
Yep.
Sometimes the clothes will have been put into the dryer by some mysterious force. Most distressingly, we have found our clothes removed from the washer or dryer and rifled through. An article or two of clothing has gone missing, such as my prized Old Games Giant Bomb t-shirt.
What the fuck?
But we have no solid leads on the property. We have no solid leads, and the property manager seems milquetoast about helping us resolve the issue.
That sucks.
My question is this a normal public laundry occurrence?
Yeah.
Has anyone on the crew ever experienced such nefarious happenings in their hampers? What should I do to prevent this? My only idea so far has been to pepper spray our clothes before we wash them. But my wife thinks this might not be so effective.
It's probably not.
You're going to wash the spray right out.
Yeah. I would think that the way to resolve it is to stay there.
Yeah.
Bring a book.
They're not going to come in and do it if you're in there reading.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, if you want to just
guard.
protect it, I'm saying we want to catch it.
Oh, if you want to, then get a tiny camera and mount it in that room and
Hold it
then
closer.
look at it later. Yeah.
Okay, let's gauge public opinion on this because I want to know what you guys do in this situation. In a laundromat situation, if you're there, you walk in, you've got your clothes, you want to put them in the washer, washing machines are full, dryer's empty, they're done washing, what do? Do you come back? Do you move stuff to the dryer? Do you put it on top of the machine?
Oh, like move their stuff? Like
Yeah.
Their
They're
wash
not there.
cycle is
Their
done.
wash cycle's done. Dryer's open for business.
I give it 10 minutes.
You have 10 minutes.
Yep.
They're not back in 10 minutes. What do?
Then it's got to go in a hamper on top of the dryer or something like that.
Okay.
So
you go right to a hamper?
Yep.
But what if it's a stranger's hamper, just like this person mentioned?
That's
What if that's not
Probably
their
put
hamper?
it on top of the machine
Put it on
before
top
I
of the
would put it
machine.
in the hamper.
So if there's multiple hampers, you're putting it on top of the machine?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't know whose hamper is who.
I would probably throw it in a dryer. I have never been in a situation where I had a shared laundry experience.
It sucks.
It's really like
Yeah.
I would
like
give
it's
anything.
probably one step above like having a shared bathroom.
Right.
Like that would
yeah,
fucking.
It's not great.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's not fun. But you got to be aggressive sometimes,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't want to be the guy that's like constantly, taking people's wet fucking clothes and putting it out. But I'm on a time schedule too.
Exactly.
I'm making the effort to set a fucking timer on my phone and be there in 20 minutes.
I don't want to
Preach.
touch anybody's clothes, but it is common courtesy to not let your shit sit in there and be in the way.
And I think
There's
I
only
would
so many on our floor.
Yeah.
Let's get the shit done.
I would err on the side of being helpfully aggressive by loading it into a dryer.
Yeah, that's
not
what I
leave it on
do.
top of a thing or throw it in a hamper that you don't even know if it's theirs. Like I would probably just be like, hey, I put it.
I solved you a step.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew I was going to be in trouble with our laundry situation when on the first day on the tour of the facilities, somebody had scrawled in Sharpie, "Beware of broke bitches stealing detergent" on the walls of one of our washing.
Broke bitches.
So that's environmental storytelling.
Yeah, it was Chicago Ted. What was his name?
Man.
Oh man, give anything for in-home washer and dryer.
Right.
It's the American dream.
It's
Actually probably pretty common outside of the Bay.
I mean, any apartment situation. Like,
Yeah,
you're
I
almost
guess.
never going to find an apartment with hookups in the unit.
Oh man.
Anywhere. Bigger. I mean, more expansive.
I miss
areas.
having a house.
Yeah.
I miss your house.
Yeah.
What's a house?
I have a laundry room.
Something you sell when you
What?
move to.
Speaking of someone who was trying to spray paint some stuff in an apartment this weekend, yeah, it would be nice to have more space.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I miss that garage. I had a garage.
That's it for emails.
I had a basement once.
Now what?
I was thinking about converting my garage into not a car park type
Okay.
space.
Oh my
and
God.
just doubling down on like, I'm going to set up all
Storage.
my stuff out here.
And live out there
Yeah.
practically.
Yeah.
Your man cave.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Jeff, what was going to be in there?
Cave.
Posters of bikini girls.
About like
A TV that just plays Home Improvement all the time.
Set of weights.
Set of weights that I don't touch a lot. And all the Fritos you can eat.
Ooh. Chili cheese ones?
Yes.
Okay.
And scoops.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
I'm there. This weekend.
where the
Welcome
cars
to
go.
Oh, that's my wife first.
All right.
though.
Yeah.
Where do the cars go?
you have to
in
tell
the
her she's not
driveway.
allowed to.
Yeah, the driveway.
Then they're outside all the time.
Yeah. So that's the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
Is like, am I okay? So I've been working in the garage and moving a lot of stuff around and cleaning up and stuff. So the car hasn't been in there lately.
Mhm.
It's been that feeling of like, am I okay with this?
2 rules: no chicks, no cars.
Yeah. Wait.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I think it was like I saw a shot of someone's basement that was all furnished and full of like old game stuff, and they were soldering a fucking Saturn.
Yeah.
And I was like, man,
That's-
what if I had a dedicated space for breaking Saturns?
Yeah. Yes.
And you can put fat heads of your favorite NFL players up on the wall.
Yep. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Just a place where you can sling paint and sawdust around.
Mike Allstott.
We should have
Not worried
giant
about
bomb fat heads.
I feel like you're not the first person to say that.
Just all of us doing our signature poses.
All right. Well, business ideas get discussed off the air, so let's get out of here.
All right.
Show?
Yeah, we're going
Yeah.
to do a show after this show
Okay.
called The After Show.
Okay.
Giant bomb aftermath.
Be there.
in your,
In your-
podcast feeds.
That's right. Go subscribe to it in your premium podcast
Wherever
experiences, wherever good
wherever podcasts are
found.
sold.
Yeah.
or not.
If you
sold.
find the Aftermath for sale somewhere, do not pay you. If you've paid money for this podcast,
Send it to us instead.
that's right.
All right then.
Subscribe.
Now you know.
Subscribe today. Giantbomb.com/upgrade. Let's
right.
get it on.
Uh,
That's the new slogan. It's not the new slogan. Let's
We
get
stole
it
it
on.
from MXE.
Yeah.
ring the gong.
Ring the gong.
PAX this weekend.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting on a plane tonight.
Whoa. Oh. Yikes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Flying overnight.
Yeah.
Had to make a phone call yesterday to plead with someone to be like, can you get me out of this middle seat? Because I'm going from this office to an airport directly to another office.
Ugh. Why?
Because that's just how the flight times work. It was either that or I would have flown out this morning and not been here.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Okay. That's
we
fair.
would have missed you.
Yeah.
Any panels to discuss?
Yeah, I'm on 4 of them. Pat Bear is on 3 of them, and he posted a really nice graphic that I'll retweet for those 3. And then the Giant Bomb panel is also happening.
Do you know what?
Let's call it Friday night.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
I was looking over your guys' notes for that panel. Oh boy, just the antics
Oh yeah,
and the
I love antics.
special surprise guests.
Not to be missed.
Let me look.
30,000, 3,000. I must have misread.
33,000.
33,000 soft
33,000.
shell tacos
Yeah.
being
Wow.
delivered to the.
That is not.
Man, that sounds good.
You will not get a soft
I'm
shell
so
taco
excited.
at our panel.
Shit, I want to go to that panel now.
Well,
But if you enjoy soft shell tacos, go to the panel.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
'Cause
would
you'll
love to
be
talk about
with
it.
like-minded people.
But yeah, that's okay. Hang on, I have an email here.
Breaking
Friday,
news.
9:30 p.m.
Yep.
Albatross Theater. No tacos allowed.
Ah,
Oh,
Okay,
damn.
well they'll bring hamburgers instead.
Hamburgers in a
soft
taco
shell
shell.
burgers.
Totally
Shell
fine.
burgers.
And for those of you who are not attending PAX in Boston, I have no idea if this panel is going to be streamed or not. This email,
It's conflicting.
this email
reports.
says this is a theater that does not have streaming capabilities.
But
But then there are other things that are apparently in that theater that are being. I have no idea. I have no idea.
we won't know until the
Conflicting
shit's
reports.
rolling.
Yeah, I won't know until I walk in the room.
That's how it goes.
That's always how it goes.
It'll be a surprise for
But
everybody.
we are recording it, so you can watch it on the website.
Yay.
One way or another.
Who's recording it? Jan, you're not going?
I'm not going.
Abby's doing it.
Abby's going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And other stuff happening at PAX. And another edition of this
Fantastic.
podcast next week. Let's get out of here. What do you say?
Sounds great.
All right. See you later.